Hello, everybody. This is Ian McDonald from Stick Drummer Magazine, and we are here live tonight
What's up,
to
everybody?
bring you another live roundtable discussion. We'll start up on the top here, going this way. This is Mr. Anthony Zakari. He's a Toronto-based drummer and teacher, if you will. He plays in a band called Prospects. Next to him, we have Mr. Aron Hetsko. Hello, hello. You guys probably know him best from Siberian Triangle. And then down here below me is Mr. Chason Westmoreland. Next to him, we have Gabe Seeber. And last but not least, Mr. Bryce Butler. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. How y'all doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Doing great, everybody.
Nice. So usually I just start off with, we'll go around here in a second. Everybody kind of gives a little bit of, background as to where they're from, that kind of thing. But I was just pre-pod talking to these guys, and I had something pretty interesting happen recently, and I'm going to share it with you guys because it's just really special. For those who don't know, I was friends with Sean Reinert for a long time, about 16 years. And when we first met, he gave me three cymbals that were signed. One was from Human, one was from Focus, and one was used on both. And he said, I'll give you more one of these days. So, if you want to give these away in contests or whatever, feel free. So I gave them away like an idiot, all of them. And about 3 months ago, I thought I knew where one of them still was. So I sent a message to the guy who won it at my blast-off competition in Denver in 2008. And he still had it. And a few days later, he said that him and his wife had been talking about it. And he wanted to send it back to me because he thought it should be with me and not on his wall. And here it is. From the Human record, 1991, signed by Sean with one of the sticks he gave me years later. It made its way back to my office 16 years after I gave it away. And it's never going anywhere again.
Man, that's so epic.
It is pretty epic. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you guys for taking the time here just after the holidays to jump on with us. A lot of you guys share similar characteristics in the way of being able to learn a set very quickly as a hired gun and go perform at the highest level with insane bands. A thing I'll still never fully understand, how you guys do it and remember everything. So I guess what we'll do real quick here is we'll start out, and Anthony, if you wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself and, what kind of music you were exposed to as a kid in your household, and then, what or why made you want to play drums, if it was a certain person or a certain band or a certain period, whatever it may have been. What made you go, hey, I'm going to be a drummer?
Yeah, I'll try to summarize it the best I can. But my name's Anthony. I'm from the Toronto area, Canada. I've been playing drums since I was like 7 years old. So I want to say 20 some odd years. My sort of introduction to music, I was really lucky. Had parents who were just avid music lovers, and they were really into like Elvis Presley. They went there. They went to Graceland for their honeymoon, and anyways, they used to go to like all these Elvis impersonator or Elvis tribute bands, and I found myself like at all these concerts. And I guess one night we were in a basement, and they had like this guy had like a Neil Peart kit, and it was just like a massive kit. Like the whole basement was just like all drums. They had like a stage and everything, and they sat me up there. They couldn't reach the bass drum, but like I was playing along, I guess. Like he showed me how to just play like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and started playing like Elvis songs along with the band, and I was just like, I love this. And then basically started playing drums sort of after that. Didn't really take it seriously until maybe I was like 12 or 13 years old. I met another kid who was just like a virtuoso guitar player at that age, and I was like really inspired by him, like his ability, and it sort of like made me want to get better at music. So I really started taking it a little more seriously, started practicing, like looking up like instructional videos and that kind of thing. Anyways, basically sort of led me to to hear.
Nice. Aron, what about you? How did it all start for you?
Well, so I started playing at 14. I'm 28 now, so I've been playing about 14 years. Honestly, the way I started, it wasn't like anything. There wasn't like a moment or anything. It was just like I remember. I think like my cousins had a drum kit, and I remember like sitting on that at one point, and I remember having like the original iPod Touch, like having like a drum app on something, and like messing around with that, and I think I just asked my parents if I could get a drum kit, and they were like, "Go buy one yourself," basically, like in like a supportive way, but like didn't want to just like hand me a drum kit, so I saved up money, bought one, and then like I think it was like an old Rogers kit I bought for like 200 and something bucks. My dad helped me pick it up from the other side of Houston, and like I just played that, but like trying to learn songs, learn like AC/DC and stuff like that when I first started getting more into metal at like 15, 16, and then started high school band, all that kind of stuff, and like I took lessons briefly, like maybe for, I don't even think it was for a year, maybe like 6 months or something, but I was a kid. I didn't really focus in on it or like try to like learn it. I kind of just like would go to the lessons, try to play the stuff, and then go home and like try to play along the songs. So realistically, I didn't really actually take drums that seriously, in my opinion, until like 2018. I'd kind of stopped playing after I graduated high school. I stopped playing. I just went to college and left my drum kit at home, didn't really touch it. And then somewhere around that point, I think I had like a place in college where I could bring my drums and like, met up with, I think it sparked because I actually like got asked to play for a country singer, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll play or something. It was either that or I got asked to play like a fill-in gig for a metal band or something back in Houston. Either way, I was like, dang, this is fun. So like compared to these other guys here, like I feel like I'm much more recent at all this, because like I really started picking it up like 2018, 2019, and it just like I just was practicing like all the time, just trying to learn actually how to play drums, like just like really analyzing what I'm doing, how I'm playing, and like breaking it down, and then just started playing for as many bands as I could the last few years, and then with COVID just kept practicing all through that.
So from 2018, like around that time period, who would you say were some of the guys that you were listening to and maybe trying to emulate or learn from?
Well, so like, we were talking about BT Bam earlier, and that goes all the way back to like high school. Like I was listening to like, before BT Bam, it was like August Burns Red. So I like as like a 15-year-old, I was just like watching Matt Greiner, like trying to play like that, and just kind of that whole like metalcore, and then got into like BT Bam and like prog and stuff like that. Started watching those drummers. In 2019, like when I started getting back into it, I'm trying to think of who like I was really watching at that time. Like I was kind of into like a lot more like tech death and stuff like that at that point. So realistically, I was kind of watching like some of the guys on this screen, like watching some of those guys, a lot of the tech death bands and stuff like that, and I don't know, just trying to keep up. I'll also mention Mike Kopyto, because he lives like he lives, or he lived right down the street from me for the longest time, and so I would go to Guitar Center, especially as a kid. I'd go to Guitar Center, and he's working there, and he's like just ripping on those electric kits, and I was like, hey, like how do you play that? And he's like, practice, and I was like, oh, thanks, I'll go do that. But like I was like exposed to like a player of that level like so early on. That was like I was only playing for a year, and I'm watching a guy like Mike in person, and it's like
I want to be like
Dang.
Mike.
Yeah, I gotta be like Mike. So
There's something in the water over in that neighborhood then, man.
yeah, like Brandon Busta lives right down the street, and that man is
Texas
drummer.
is just fucked, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just fucked.
So I mentioned earlier that people may know Aron from his work with the Sabian Triangle. He's also played and toured with bands like Enterprise Earth, Aetherius, Snakefather, Desiderium, and most recently was able to fill in, like he had mentioned, on a tour with Fallujah, which was quite impressive, I must say. And I know, Chason, you also played with Fallujah years back,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. All right. Well, that brings us to you, Chason. You have a little bit of a different background that I happen to know a little bit about, not a lot, but I know you come from a very musical family, and I know you have your Uncle Greg. So I'm wondering how much of a part he played in who you are now as a drummer, if at all. And if you can tell us not only what brought you into drums if it wasn't him, tell us a little bit about Greg and what he's done, because I know he's done a shit ton of stuff.
yeah. So my dad plays bass, and he played like for a lot of Motown bands, like the Pointer Sisters and Expose. He's done like the Four Tops, and so I would just watch him play here at MGM in Vegas, like in the theater. So I've just always been around like live music. And then my Uncle Greg, actually, one of his sickest gigs was with Shaka Khan for a little bit. And so he's really sick at like, R&B group type stuff, jazz, same with my dad. So yeah, they definitely helped me, especially like as a kid. I was like 3 or 4 when I started, and I would just watch this VHS tape of them playing like 80s covers like Marvin Gaye and stuff. And I would just like play along with that as best as I could. And my Uncle Greg showed me like some really good exercises when I was a kid. So did my dad. My dad played drums. I think he was like 13 or something when he started playing bass. So he played drums from a young age too. And so my Uncle Greg, me and my dad love 311. Like their drummer's super good, marching band dude, but also, of course, sick groove. So I would play that stuff in middle school, went to like Blink-182, Green Day, Limp Bizkit, like all the usual suspects, and moved on to metal in high school. And so I've just always sought out like the crazy drummers, Joey Jordison, obviously, when I was a kid. So it just always progressed. I was like, this dude's crazy. I'll try that. And so yeah, I'm really lucky. I've always been around really good drummers. My dad played with some incredible drummers, my uncle. So it's just always been pretty normal for me. Even in like 5th grade, I would think walking around school, like, oh, I'll be on tour one day. My dad's gone right now in Japan or wherever. So I'm just glad I can do it too.
Nice. And as we mentioned before with Aron, obviously you've been doing this a lot longer. Bands like Burning the Masses, which is where I first saw you when you were, I don't know, how old were you in 2008?
What was I?
12?
I was like 19 or something when I started touring with them. And it was pretty close to 09 or something like that. It's like right out of high school, so that was really cool.
And you've also played with bands like Demon King, Ghost of the Universe, Brand of Sacrifice, most currently Abigail Williams, which is a common thread here, Fallujah, Hate Eternal, Oceano Faceless, and many others, as well as your side project, if I did not mention that, solo project. But going back to when I met you with Burning the Masses back in 2008 at Josie's Country Jukebox, actually was owned by Josie Waverly, was the bar I saw you at.
That's a death metal club if I ever heard one.
Yeah, literally.
That's what the one guy in the pit thought too. The one guy that actually ended up choking a bouncer out, and I don't know if it was you or Danny McBride. I said, "Hold my beer." Do you remember this by the pool table?
The story sounds familiar, so it was probably Daniel that grabbed the beer for you.
I threw my beer and I took my coat off and I took care of the guy that was giving the bouncer shit. I basically dragged him across the whole bar in a chokehold and threw him out the door. And the bar owner came up to me afterwards. He's like, "Can I pay your tab?" Or I'm like, "I'm driving. I haven't been drinking, but you can buy everybody here around." He's like, "You got it, man. Do you want another job?" I'm like, "No, no, I don't." I had kids to go home to. I was just making sure I was getting myself out of a situation. You know what I mean? But the reason I brought up Burning the Masses and seeing you back then was there's only a handful of guys in my time with Sick Drummer that I've seen someone like just really become a part of their kit when they play. You are one of them. The other one, just off the top of my head, is Naveen with Animosity.
Yes, dude.
I mean, Jarvis with Misery Index, you know, and that's not to say anything bad about anybody else not becoming part of their kit, but there's just something special about everybody on that tour. When I saw you for the first time, finished what they were doing and made sure they were at the front of the side or at the side of the stage to watch you play every night.
Thank you, man.
Because of how you just become part of the kit. You're like, you can't be talked to. You're just in such a zone.
In the zone, yeah.
Little 5-piece powder blue pearl with no triggers whatsoever, and just ripping it like nobody's business, man.
Thank you, man.
It's been great seeing you progress over the years to where you're at now, man. All of you. But that being said, Gabe, what about you? How did it start out for you?
I think my story seems pretty similar to Aaron's. Music was always in my family. My mom's dad owned a piano shop and he sold pianos. My mom's brother was a piano tuner. Her sister is a piano teacher. So piano was always kind of a constant. Like, that was the first instrument I learned. And my dad, after high school, like during college and everything, he was a radio DJ as well throughout California. So music was always kind of part of it, but I never really started playing because I did piano first and then guitar, then bass, and then drums. And I think drums started, my oldest brother got a drum set from like a garage sale for $100. And he took it to our grandma's house. So every day after school, I would go over there and kind of watch him play around on the drums. And it wasn't until like I sat behind the kit for the first time and started playing that it just kind of clicked. And that's when I knew, like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, basically quit skateboarding, and I was doing BMX at the time and sports and stuff like that. And I just kind of took over everything, just started doing drumming, and I knew instantly that that's what it was going to be. And also, like Aaron, I did drum lessons maybe for 6 months or so, but it was like jazz and Afro-Cuban stuff. But I was already starting to listen to like Slipknot and Rob Zombie and Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that. So I did the lessons for a very short time and then just kind of wanted to do my own thing and just got right into playing metal with a friend of mine that had just started playing guitar as well. So we just started covering everything from like Nirvana to Cradle of Filth and Killswitch Engage and Slipknot, and just kept getting heavier and heavier from there.
Were there any drummers in particular that you looked up to or wanted to emulate when you were younger?
Like Chason said, like Joey Jordison was one of them. John Longstreth for sure. Yeah, it really like wasn't anyone in particular. I did have like the George Colias DVD and loved watching him as well, and Derek Roddy, Marco.
Marco's in the chat, by the way. What's up, Marco?
Hey, Marco. We got one more for the skank beats there.
Yeah, that's a good word to use and not the other word. We were talking about that earlier. That's funny. Go ahead. But yeah. Well, let me just take you off solo here. There's also a bunch of other drummers in the chat that I'd like to say hello to real quick. We got Casey Brand.
Yeah, Casey's my drum roommate here in Sacramento. We share a studio together.
No shit. We just posted a video of his yesterday.
Yeah.
Beast of a player. Jordan Varela is in the chat. Lord Marco's in the chat. Zach Dean is in the chat.
Oh my god, I love
crazy up and comer.
No one's ready for his videos when they drop. It's gonna fucking be bullshit. I'm not ready. I'm gonna quit.
Charlie Corn's also in chat. So thank you guys for joining us as well, man. And then guitar players. There's a whole bunch of guitar players in the chat too, including Sam Lanyon, who is the newest member of Anomalous, who just re-recorded the 20-year-old record with Max Seaman. And if you haven't heard it yet, yeah, you're going to want to check that out. It's insanity personified. So as well we did with previous guys here, Gabe's been known for his work with a ton of bands, Alter Beast, Kennedyville, Decrepit Birth, Abigail Williams again, Vela Nath, Abath or Abath, however you want to pronounce that. And I have a question about that in particular. You just filled in with them for a couple tours or one tour?
We did 2 tours. We did a tour with Behemoth, Entombed, and Inquisition in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did the Decibel tour in the States with High on Fire, Skeleton Witch, and Tribulation.
Sick.
Oh, who was on drums with Skeleton Witch for that one? Do you know? Do you remember? Of course you know.
It was Dustin. Dustin Bolt. Yeah.
I first saw Dustin many, many, many years ago, and I forget the name of the band he was in, but Demiricus.
Oh, Demiricus was sick. Yeah.
They were real sick. That was back around the time of like the Burnt by the Sun, Heart of Darkness record came out.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Obscura most recently for you. But how long did you have to learn the set or sets that you played with Abath?
With Abath, I had some time. It was, I think they had reached out to me early December of 2015, and then in early January. So I guess I had about a month to work on it, and then I flew to Norway on, I think, the 2nd or 3rd of January on 2016, and I was there for 3 weeks, like rehearsing with them before the tour started.
Oh, that's plenty.
I love how a month is like a lot of time. That's why I'm laughing. It's like, oh, a decent amount of time. A month. It's like, dude, it's like not.
Well, it was 2 months before the tour started, but a month before I flew out.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to ask everyone this, but while we're on it, how long did you have, Aaron, when you filled in with Fallujah to learn the set for? Was it Australia? You went to Australia with them, or?
I did Australia.
I'm sorry.
I did Australia with him.
Okay, that's right. After Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aaron was just West Coast then, right? Okay,
Yeah.
How long did you?
I had about 6 weeks because it was like 12 songs in 6 weeks is what I had there. So
not easy.
They did a long set for that one.
Not only is Scott Carstairs a god among men on guitar, but he programmed a lot of the Fallujah drums. If people don't know that, and he's quite the programmer. That's insane. What would you say, Gabe, is the hardest band you've ever had to learn quickly to go perform with?
Usually anything that Mike Heller wrote the drums on. So would be either Abigail, but like now that I've played the song so many times, they're super fun to play. I love playing the Abigail stuff. But there's also a band in Iceland called Beneath that I filled in for a couple times, and Mike Heller did the drums on that record, and it's just chaotic. The drums are insane on that stuff, and not a lot of it's in 4, so it's kind of weird to get a grasp on for the first couple times.
Yeah, that's not uncommon to hear when people talk about Mike Heller and not being in 4. He's like the linear master. With stuff with Malignancy is it's just linear mastery. And
yeah, I feel for Alex trying to fill those shoes. It's not got to be easy.
Well, here's the thing too. Back in the day, like Metal Blade and other labels, when they would have guys out on tour, like let's say, Whitechapel or something, the drummer hurts his wrist and has to get it taken care of. They would take drummers off tours, fly them to Mike's house. Mike would fix them and send them back to tour, just ergonomically. Position, sitting, height, knees, everything.
Hell?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I know Mike's had problems with his back for a long time, and he's had to adjust how he plays to be able to keep up with some of the stuff.
Is he still open for business?
Yeah.
I can make a call right now.
It probably is, man. And I know that's how he used to make some money back in the day when he wasn't touring. He would help other drummers that were touring drummers fix themselves.
That's crazy.
Well, Bryce, last but not least, why don't you go ahead and give us the background?
Damn, I think I started playing drums when I was like 2 years old, so I don't really. It's like before I remember. There's like picture proof. But I think like the Eagles. I was like 2.5 years old. I saw the Eagles on TV, and they were playing like "Get Over It," and I started like playing along to it on like spools with spoons, and my parents bought me a drum set. Same thing, like really musical family. My dad played guitar. My mom is a singer, played flute. My sister played piano. My grandfather is is a composer. He has like 300 something published works for like orchestral stuff. So it was just like in the family, just kind of in, it's like, it seems like it's like all in our DNA to a degree, which is cool. It's like I definitely think we're all like destined to do this, which is fucking cool. But raised on a lot of classic rock too, like AC/DC, Rush even. I didn't know it was prog when I was a kid, but Rush was sick. Nirvana, just any sick classic rock. And then I think one of my first biggest influences was like the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold. I fucking loved Avenged Sevenfold, dude. They're still so sick.
Yo.
The Rev, Joey Jordison, Mike Portnoy was like probably my number one. I like learned how to play Odd Time Signatures without knowing it, just because you just feel it. I still don't really count. We just
become best friends.
Hell yeah, brother.
The Rev, Blake Richardson, Portnoy,
dude, yes.
like
Yes,
what the
dude.
fuck? Anyway,
Prague shit, man. Prague shit. And then same like Aaron, like I was obsessed with. I found August Burns Red. That was like the first screaming band I ever found. Actually, was August Burns Red. Found them. Found Born of Osiris. And that's like what got me into double bass for the first time. And then found George Coleus. I got his DVD, and then it was like over. Then it was like I got into heavy stuff. Probably like 18, 19 ish, like really heavy stuff. And then it was just over after that.
I think the funniest thing to me about the George Colias DVD, it says it's an instructional DVD, but he really doesn't talk. It's just like 9 hours of him doing last week.
I know. It's so funny. I will say though, my favorite thing, I still use this, and I use this in like drum lessons and shit all the time, is it's like the best exercise ever, and it made me good at double bass. It's just doing like quarter notes to triplets to eighth notes. You know what I mean? Like the pyramid like the grid, and back down. Dude, that's like the best. If you just do that exercise, and he also just taught like just play double bass for like 10 fucking minutes straight until your goddamn legs fall off. If you just do those two things, you'll be sick of double bass. It's like that's all I ever did. And but you just watch hours of him just fucking blasting at 300, and he doesn't. The game is ready, like doesn't really say much. It's like so.
Yeah, it's hardly an instructional DVD.
It's just him showing off, and it's like if you pick it up, you're lucky. Okay, cool. It's so awesome.
Is this the book?
It was.
I think
that's the book,
one, right?
but it was like Extreme Metal Drumming 101. I think
the DVD.
Well, it might be that one, but I think
that was
Flo had one as well.
Flo, dude.
I think Flo might have been the Extreme Metal Drumming, and
that was it.
I don't remember what Colias was actually called.
Flo actually kind of changed my life, like the way when he said bouncing a basketball changed my life. Totally. The way I play drums, hands and feet, is literally the exact same motion as bouncing a basketball. There's no difference.
Yeah. I think
the intense metal drumming was Colias, but
metal drumming.
Yeah, I went to a flow clinic at 14 or 15, and blew me away. Sorry, continue on.
That's so.
I was just gonna say there once was not album by Cryptopsy. It's like it's more like Flo Manier featuring Cryptopsy.
Yeah,
Cryptopsy with Flo as a drummer. That album is just the drumming is insane on that.
It's so sick.
I remember that one. Yeah.
It's funny because George doesn't say much, but when he does talk, like it's funny. He's like the most interesting guy in the world, right? And years back, we had a contest to see who could do the best impersonation of George speaking on YouTube. Some of the entries were pretty funny. We gave him like a script and had him talk like George. He got a kick out of it. Justin
I think,
McKinney is in the chat as well. Hello, Justin. Thanks for joining
What's
me.
up,
Oh my
Justin?
God.
What about the
Hello,
video
Justin.
with the fake poo?
Oh yeah, that's not public.
Dude, new Zenith passage is so fucking good. It's like ridiculous.
The new Zenith passage is ridiculous. I like
It's
to say.
unbelievable. It's like the best tech death album.
Yeah, it is, and Justin's
I
a
agree.
madman. And it's
Album
the
of the
first
year.
time. It's the first time we've ever mentioned an album on our best of list that was programmed.
Nice.
Yeah.
It makes
I
sense.
played those parts. They were
Can't tell.
one of the most difficult things I learned was Zenith Passage. Shout out to Justin for doing some of the best programming I've ever heard in my
Justin
life.
was the drummer.
Yeah, I actually had to
My
like back
dog.
out of filling in for them because I gave up. It was like too hard for me, honestly.
That happened to me before,
Yeah.
but then I had like longer, and I was like, I think I can do this maybe.
It's just so impressive. And like
Yeah.
the main thing is, you know, this the super deceiving odd time signatures, dude, that Justin
Yeah.
does. Such cool and deceiving odd time signatures and like really cool syncopation. It's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like, the way it works against the click, I was just like, okay, I love you, but like there's definitely people that could do this. This is too hard.
Synaptic deprivation was like impossible.
Oh,
And I would have to like come in early, and I was like, that's not it. And then I was like, oh, that's it. Like
yeah.
the click changes. Oh my God, man.
Oh,
All the hails to Justin. For
Yeah.
real.
He's a legend.
That's funny. As we did with everybody else, Bryce's resume is quite thorough as well. He's, you know, for being a younger guy, you've been in a ton of bands like Bro Job, which I love that name. Circuit of Suns, Lizard Professor, Seeker, Valiant Crusade, Contrarian for a little while, Abigail Williams again, Lord Mantis, Shadow of Intent most recently, and of course you also played with the Faceless, which is common here
Yeah.
amongst these guys and everybody else who ever touched drumsticks. What was there, 6 drummers on first record? Like,
Something like that.
Or
Yeah.
at least, yeah. Naveen,
Naveen, yep.
was
Brett
it like
Hatdorf.
Nick,
Brett Batdorf,
Yep.
Mark
Marco.
was on it.
Yep.
Nick
Nick Pierce.
Pierce,
Nick Pierce,
lefty,
that's right. Nick Pierce, yeah.
Oh, so good.
was
And there's like one more, I think. There's like
yeah, Lyle Cooper.
No, not the
Not yet.
first one.
Not yet.
There was one more. Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
great band. They've actually stayed at my house a couple times throughout the years.
That's awesome.
Music is hard as hell. I'm not gonna lie, for sure.
No, it is. It is. But
Makes you a way better drummer, for sure.
well, let's see here. Does anybody, real quick, have any questions for anybody else on what we've already talked about as far as upbringing and influence? I mean, I have categories listed out here that I texted you earlier. Try and stick to a script, but we don't have to. So if anything brings up a question for you guys, which is the idea behind the roundtable, you know, if anybody has any other questions for each other about, you know, their past and getting into drumming or technique or anything, feel free to ask them at any point. That's
Yeah,
cool with me.
I get stuff for sure.
Yeah, I got two kind of questions I kind of wanted to ask. I was gonna ask kind of each of you if you wanted to just give like a little tidbit of your answer. It doesn't have to be a run-on thing, but you guys mostly answered it anyways. But it's more kind of a specific question. But like, when was the first actual time, if you could remember, that you heard like or experienced technical death metal or like extreme metal, and like, what made you want to pursue that like kind of style? Like, what made you want to like be like, yes, like I want to push myself to this level like all the time and like not stop like raising the bar, you know? Like, when was that switch in that moment, like, if you don't mind me asking? Because like you guys all said your influences, which are, we all sort of somewhat come from similar influences, which is really cool. But it was like, when was that like switch to be like, it's time to, like, the bar is like, I gotta hit that, you know? Anyways, maybe start with you, Aaron.
Sure, yeah.
I know it's more recently than, but
I mean, so there was like kind of an early switch, honestly, because like I played death metal and stuff in high school, like early high school.
Okay.
But I remember, I think it was like right after I started playing drums. I had a buddy. I was like, I think I was in 8th grade or maybe going into 9th grade or something. And a buddy of mine showed me Trivium, and this was like before I listened to like any metal beyond like, pretty like mainstream stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of their early albums had like some faster double bass and stuff. And I remember hearing that and being like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Like I need to go get a double pedal and like try to do that. And I remember like just kind of trying to like do some of the quick bursts and stuff like that and figuring that out as like, a really young drummer and being like, okay, like it's starting to click. And then, that was like the first time where I was like, all right, I can do this kind of stuff,
And then I guess to say to that like next level, like of like technical death metal, like not to throw shade at Trivium. I love Trivium. Tendency is super sick. But I just mean like, when was it like I need to push myself to that like level of like extreme where there's only really like a select amount of people that can play at that like level, I think. In my opinion.
I mean, I don't know if there was like a specific time. Like I remember finding like Black Dahlia Murder, the Faceless, and hearing like those drum parts. I remember watching like the old live videos of Lyle Cooper and being like, yo, how do I do that? Like, how
He
do I
looks like a demon where he's possessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they thought he was possessed and stuff.
Lyle's still killing it, by the way. He made our 2023 lists again.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching him and just being like, all right, I gotta figure this out. Like it was probably like some of those bands. And also watching like Blake Richardson and stuff, just like,
that's bullshit.
Yeah, it was just, they were playing such crazy stuff. I actually thought it was like unattainable. Like some of it still feels like so unattainable to play. Like I feel like I'm kind of just BSing my way through it and like not actually playing like some of those guys are. But
I feel that.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
A quick hello to DJ Jet, who has joined us as she always does. What's up, Jet? Thank you very much for being here.
Well, yeah. Well, that's pretty sweet, man. I guess we'll move on to Chason if you don't mind. I guess you kind of already answered it, but again, if you wanted to more elaborate on it a bit more.
I forgot some stuff, but I remember the first blast beat I heard was that Painted Black cover from Black Dahlia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, what is that? Because I was like, because I couldn't do it, but I was like, okay, I will do this one day. And then I remember it took me like 5 years to get a Euroblast properly. Mm-hmm. I was just doing the Suffo Blast for like 5 years over all of the Euroblast parts. And then I was like, oh my God, like one day it just clicked finally. But yeah, it was for sure Black Dahlia. Like for me, I listened to all their demos and stuff, all the super old stuff. And then Unhallowed came out. I made my dad buy it for me at a bookstore. And he was like, put this in real quick. Let's hear something. And he's like, that sounds like the CD skipping. And I was like, I know. So that was it for me. And then I heard the Faceless around the same time. So I didn't really know it was tech yet, which it wasn't as tech, but like, you know, like Lika and all those crazy songs on that, Ghost of a Stranger. I was like, this is really, really cool. Because the only stuff I'd heard like that was jazz. So I compared it a lot. I was like, these seem like the other best drummers in the world besides like jazz people like Dave Weckl and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was for sure mine.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah. I think like along with the Stuffo Blast thing, it might have not been until Tony Royster Jr. was like, the only rudiment I ever use is singles. And then I was like, oh, yeah, okay, just do singles on everything. And then that's what made beats make sense to me for the Euroblast.
So good. Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny because for I want to say maybe even longer than a decade, like I would like try to learn all those songs, like, you know, All That Remains, Between the Buried and Me, and all my blast beats were always just like unison blasts, just like da, 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 da. And I thought, I was like, how are these people doing this for that long? Like, I'm like, how is it possible? And then one day I was just messing around and I was just like, oh, singles. And I just started doing singles like really fast. And I was like, no,
that's a blast beat.
No way. I was like, no way. I was like, I can't have missed this for like a decade. Like, there's no way. So anyways, I wish somebody would just have told me and be like,
yep,
you're an idiot. Anyway.
We're dumbers, dude.
That's so funny. It's true.
Anyways, if you wanted to elaborate, Gabe as well.
Yeah, I don't know what really made it click for me. I think maybe because, like I said, I was pretty listening to heavy stuff out the gate, like Cannibal and Through the Eyes of the Dead. I think like 2 Inches from a Main Artery was one of the first like metal songs I started trying to learn on drums.
Wow.
And then it was like the OG Unique Leader lineup, like Spawn of Possession, Deed to Flesh, Odious Mortem, Decrepit Birth, all that stuff. Like, because so much of that was from California. So when I started hearing all that stuff, it was just like mind blowing, and I couldn't even fathom how you could write and play something that complex. And it was funny, even on the last Decrepit Birth tour, we listened to some of the old And Times Begin stuff, and even Matt was like, I don't even know what I was thinking when I wrote this. He was like, he was having like an inner argument with himself. He's like, is this music? I don't even know what this is anymore. Like how can anyone play this stuff?
That's so funny.
Because I think the song "And Time Begins" is like 9 minutes long, and it's just chaos the whole time. Right. It's like riff salad, but you listen to it, and nobody's done that before. It's crazy.
Yeah, it boggles my mind how like even like bands like back in the day, like Necrophages, for like that guy Muhammad could just play that and scream at the same time. Like, how is he screaming those like patterns and then like playing that? I don't know. It's just two brains. Just he's able to, I guess, go into two separate parts of his brain. It's crazy.
I remember meeting him when I was like 15 or 16. It was the Summer Slaughter, where it was, I don't even remember who else was on it, but it was
Decapitated.
I think Decapitated was on it.
Marco Miniman.
Oh,
man. Marco Miniman on drums.
I saw that.
Legend.
But I remember taking Mohammed's hand, and it was just massive. Like, it completely like enveloped my hand when I shook his hand. I was like, okay, well, that makes more sense on a fretboard that you can reach all these crazy stretches.
True.
Cephalic would have been on that too, I believe. They all played that blue kit with the red stripe.
Yeah, I think Cephalic was.
Wasn't it?
The famous kit. Yep, the Merriman.
The
Merriman
famous Tom Faces kid that's fucking
We
good.
did
Sabian was one of my favorite albums too, getting into metal.
We did a special magazine issue back then. We called it Drummer Slaughter.
Yeah.
You know, we interviewed all the guys on the tour each year for a little while. It was pretty fun.
Damn, that's so sick.
But yeah, I miss John Merriman's drumming. I miss Shannon Lucas's drumming. I actually tried to reach out to Shannon a few weeks ago. I tried to get hold of him, but I haven't yet. But I did get in touch.
Isn't he like a tattoo artist now?
He is, and his wife is a tattoo artist. I think they own a shop. But I know he was still drumming in some other non-metal project for a while after he left and got married. But I want to have him on an interview with Kevin Talley, and he's into it. Kevin's like, fuck yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. So that'll be one of our next ones.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
2007, Marco says, was the first Summer Slaughter.
Holy
Sounds
shit.
about right.
Damn, that's crazy.
Man,
All right, so
I guess last but not least, Bryce,
Yeah,
you wanna finish that off real quick, and then
Ironically, I think it was with the Faceless. I think it was fucking. I heard that bass sweep, and I was like, yo, and then I was like, and then I heard the double bass in that song, and I was like, how the fuck? I thought it was like not possible. Like I didn't think it was a person at first, and I was like, this is not possible.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and that was like the irony is like I remember like the first time I played it on stage, I just had this ultimate panic, and I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, how did this happen? I remember when I heard the song, and I was like, this is fucking bullshit, and now I have to do this and blow it in front of everyone. Like, great, okay, sick.
Pay increase, let's go.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And ironically, this is super cool because I was 16 in 2008, and I had just discovered YouTube, and I found a video of Chason. He had to be like 19. It was like 2008 or 2009. It's like this studio video of him playing with Burning of the Masses. He's playing like 260, and he's like 19. And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
The mic check video?
Yes, dude. Oh my fucking God. That changed my life. That video, like I had never seen.
You, man.
That was the first video I had ever seen of like someone playing extreme metal in my life. And
That's
then
really cool.
I found videos of Polius, and it was like recommended and shit after that. But like, what the fuck? Like, and he was like,
I didn't mean to. I was
You were
just
like a
messing
kid.
around.
And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Are you talking about that? Are you talking about that video in the studio where they're checking his mics?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
I was like 16 or 17 when I saw that, and it like
Yeah.
changed my life.
The engineer's like, "What?"
Yes, dude, I was like,
Stephen Hawks. Sick.
insane, dude. And Shannon Lucas too, for sure. Like I fucking heard like Nocturnal, and I was like, what the fuck? Like 240. I was like, yo, like that's so fast. I've been still 240 is fucking bullshit fast, but
It is fast.
man, that's crazy, dude.
Now you play like
This
300.
This is
Yeah,
bullshit. Thanks a
Damn.
lot, people. Thanks a lot, guitarists. You guys are fucking real slow in this.
Speaking of
Oh
guitarists,
my god, Justin just reminded me of something that's crazy.
he has a question for you here that just
He
popped
made
up.
me. He made me. There was a day I had to learn an autopsy at like after sound check. After sound check, Michael was like, "Oh, you have to learn the song," and I was like, "Oh, all right." I had like 3 hours. I had never heard the click. I never heard the click. I just had to guess what the click was, and the worst part was he was still using Alex Rudinger's custom click.
Oh,
Which if you know, it's
Yeah.
Oh my
like,
god.
like, Alex is like on another. Alex is an alien, and
Yeah.
that's what I. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Justin was so sweet to me. Like he like comforted me, but like there was a couple of spots like I straight like blew it that night. And like then a couple of days later, we locked me in a practice space until I got it right because I blew it. But like it was so embarrassing and so funny. It's like, oh, you can do this in like 3 hours, right? I was like, an autopsy, right? Yeah, no, okay.
With the drum solo.
Dude,
basically.
exactly. I was like, what?
Hey, just give me an hour. We're good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, literally.
So many great memories though with Justin and
Just give me a
Ken.
chart.
Ken and Justin, touring with Ken and Justin at the same time. Oh my, there should be like an all-star team of bands. Okay. And they would definitely be on that all-star team. And it would just be like the most fun. It was just like the 2 tours we did, dude, were so fun despite all the shit. It was so fun. It was so sick. Oh my god.
Let's take this opportunity here to take a little break, and we're going to throw up a video. We'll play 3-4 minutes, not too much, but we'll start with you, Bryce, because we're on you. Do you want to give a little intro to this video, maybe a little bit about how it was recorded, where it was recorded? This is the Meinl one you had sent me.
Yeah. This one actually just came out today. I didn't know. I woke up and I was like, oh shit.
Even better.
I need to post it tomorrow because I forgot to post it.
So this is the Coming Fire. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a new drum playthrough for the Coming Fire off of the last album I did with Shadow of Intent. And for this video, I did all singles strokes for this video. And I wanted to do single strokes for more videos, but I got too tired. So we'll see. I actually haven't watched it in a long time, so hopefully it turned out good.
Nice. Well, we right before the podcast started, I had a chance to show it to Jason Bittner, and I asked him what he had to say about it, and here's what he said. Sorry. I'm sorry. What did Jason say? Okay.
Stamp of approval.
So we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to play this video from Bryce Butler, The Coming Fire by Shadow Intent. It's 4:54. I think I'm just going to let the whole thing go. If for some reason I am not back in my chair when it comes back, feel free, anybody else, to ask Bryce any quick questions about it, and then we'll just continue from there. All right. So sit back and holy shit. We'll just end it there.
So sick.
Sick.
I love the look on your face always when you're playing. It's like
Me too.
I just still can't believe that Meinl believes in me. It's like so fucking crazy, man. It's like been the coolest shit of my life. I'm trying to get Chason on next because, you know.
I hope.
Where was that recorded?
That was in Nashville at the Meinl, their little Meinl studio. It's so they have like the sickest setup, dude. It's awesome. It's really fucking cool. I nerded out. I annoyed the shit out of the sound guy and asked him like a billion questions. I was like, "What's this mic? Or why this mic placement? Oh, really? Okay, what about this one? Huh? How much does that cost? Okay." Like, and he was just like, "Dude, shut up."
Does it have good gas mileage?
Yeah, I'm like just a million questions. I was like wearing them out, dude.
And now, who do you deal with over there, Chris Brewer?
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
He's the fucking best. He's so awesome.
Nice. Well, I guess while we're on that, why don't you just tell us a little bit about the setup you're using from Meinl?
Holy shit.
Not to put you on the spot.
15 cymbals. I got.
Oh my god.
Well, I have 20, but I can only use. There's only so many you can. I'm not allowed. I'm literally there's like a limit I'm allowed to bring on tour. Because it's like everyone's gonna hate me. They're like,
cymbal bags.
they're like, "Hey, Bryce, it's been 2.5 hours. Are you almost done setting up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty close." I got 6 and 8 inch Byzance splashes, the brilliant splashes, 10-inch Byzance dual splash, 18 and 19 Byzance dual crashes, 14-inch. I'm doing the 14-inch Byzance dual hats right now. I really like. Matt Garska makes like the sickest fuck. All of his cymbals are just so good. It's bullshit. But I'm using his China now. That Equilibrium China is like insane. And I think it's his temporal stack. I think it's called temporal stack 2. I'm using like in the front right. And then I made a stack out of a 14-inch Byzance mini China and a 10-inch Byzance splash. And then I think that's it. 18-inch Byzance dual China on the left, I think.
You could have just did one of everything.
And I did my favorite metal ride of all time is the fucking 22-inch Byzance heavy hammered ride. It sounds like just like porn, basically, is what it sounds like. So,
is that why you chose the background you have?
Yeah, I changed it now because I was scared. I was scared like my mom or something was gonna know what it means, and then text me and be like, "Bryce, what are you?"
Is that a casting couch?
Yeah. I'll be like, "How the hell do you know what that is?" Are you
the hell?
Oh my god!
All right, so the importance of practice and consistency in practice. We haven't heard from Aron in a little bit here. Let's just use this as a topic and go ahead and tell me a little bit about your practice regimen and how much you think it is or is not important, and if you read or write, and if that may have helped or hindered you in any way, if you think.
All right, yeah. Well, I at least my current practice regimen is like it's kind of all over the place. Like it depends on if I'm like getting ready for a tour or whatever, learning songs. I kind of just go on like, I feel like at least as of recently, like as soon as I get home or like doing anything, I just kind of go on like a kick of like wanting to learn like something new, whether it's just like, I don't know, like recently I've been working a lot on those like split singles of like, right, and then like right kick, left kick.
Yeah.
Just like
Blake
I have a
Richardson.
couple buddies.
I'm trying to learn those
Blake
right
Richardson
now too.
split, bro. That's
Yeah.
what I call him.
They're so
Love
hard.
those.
He's the king. Him and Alex Rudinger are so fucking good at that. It's bullshit. It's so fucking hard.
I know it is. So is.
I mean, I have a buddy that like lives down the road from me who is I think like 5 or 6 years younger than me, and he's just like ripping those like so fast, and I'm like, Well,
Jeez.
I guess I got to try to catch up because
Again, what's in the where do you live? Let's all move to your street.
Playing like crazy.
Wait,
stuff.
who is it? Do I know him?
So, his name's Caden Brenneman. Like,
Damn, no, I
he's
don't. This is bullshit.
Yeah,
tell him to play country music or something.
You see what happens when you leave Texas, Bryce?
God damn it.
No. He's a good friend of mine. It's crazy because he like mainly plays like cover gigs, but he did a random like he filled in for Arch Echo for like a short period, opening for Dream Theater. So like, dude's got crazy jobs. Like, it goes from just like bar gigs to like opening for Dream Theater for like 5 nights, and then like. Yeah, playing for like 10,000 people.
Any houses for rent on your street? Because
yeah, I mean,
people might want to move there, start drinking water.
It's true.
Start feeding the animals or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lot of competition around here. It keeps me in check. I don't know how these guys do it. I'm just doing what I can to try to.
Well, you toured with Enterprise Earth, and then like 2 months later, you're playing for them. So
true.
And you hit really hard. That's gotta.
You hit like a man, which is sick.
You smashed, dude.
I think that's my like biggest factor. Honestly, it's like if I just hit really hard, people will keep hiring me.
All right, well,
it helps. I'll tell you that.
Casa Grande approves.
That was Scott Carstairs' requirement for Fallujah. Hard hitters only.
It was.
You have to hit like a man. Right?
And Jarvis wasn't available.
Probably.
I don't know if you can hit that hard at that fast either.
Right. Why don't we do this then? Before I was going to go to Chason next on the practice routines, but there was a question that relates to this that popped in a little while ago. I'm not going to scroll back and find it because I'll lose my spot. But real quick, without even thinking, we'll start on the top. Anthony, Aron, and then Chase, Gabe, Bryce. Hardest hitter you've ever seen. Go.
Oh man.
Too slow.
Yeah, too slow. I can't even think. I can't think.
Easy.
All right, I'll start.
The drummer from Manowar. Can't think of his name right now, but
Jarvis for me.
Yeah, I mean the first one that comes to mind is Chason. I feel like he hits so hard.
Thank you.
Like a fucking man.
You do too. Everyone in here hits really hard. Gabe hits super hard, and so does Bryce. Sick.
yeah, Bryce, I've seen those dented heads in those old YouTube videos.
In one show.
What about you? First one that comes to your mind, Chason. Besides yourself.
Oh, I have one.
Yeah,
Eloy.
Famous. All right.
Famous with the gloves, and he'd be like, and I was like, holy.
Oh, those old videos when he was like.
Because that was like the early times, like way back. So he's got to be one of them. And then Butch from the Four Tops when I was 5, like insane.
Oh, shit.
I remember those videos Samus used to do when he was younger, and with the gloves and the, like you're talking about, he had a few pops or whatnot. And he was playing Abigail Williams.
Yeah.
Funny how that keeps coming up. All right,
His
Gabe.
eye China's like up here.
Yeah.
What do you think, Gabe?
Probably Eloy.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a good
God.
choice.
Hands down, number one.
That's true.
It's not even a contest.
And Jarvis too. I love watching Jarvis. Just how aggressive and powerful it is. But,
It's ridiculous. But
yeah,
Eloy,
Eloy for sure. Like I think he breaks cymbals, like brand new cymbals every night.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I finally
James
saw him, Eloy.
Yeah, James Stewart for sure hits hard.
James Stewart was the name that was given by the person who asked that question. I'm sorry.
Nuts.
Let me catch up on some of these comments. Here you go. Anton says hello, and
Hello.
when's Chason going to do a Zenith Passage playthrough?
I have a couple that have been lost video-wise, but I definitely have the audio. So I'll redo some.
All right. We got a couple more for Eloy. We filmed Eloy once, and we had to have someone sit in front of his kick drum because it kept moving.
Yeah,
Let's pop this up on the screen. Here's another legend joined us this evening to say Happy New Year. Everyone say hi to Ken Schalk.
Oh, shit.
Happy New Year.
Oh shit. Happy New Year, Ken, man. Thanks for joining. He also says Eloy. Eloy.
It's hard to be like I'm like it's
Chat says
almost to
Adam.
the point where he almost makes Thomas sound not as good as it should because he's hitting so hard. It's like
Well,
the
sound
snare,
guys hate him.
Detuning.
dude. Yeah, like every snare hit, it's like it's like God. I feel bad. If it was a person, he'd be dead. It's like
Yeah.
holy fuck.
Drums did his mama wrong, bro.
I know something, dude. Like holy.
There's another good one.
Next stays busy, man. Holy shit.
Naveen and Tony Westermark, and you just toured with Tony not that long ago, Chason. Also with Matt Kilner, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kilner is so sick too, dude. Holy
Naveen hits
Naveen.
really hard.
He does.
Dude.
Yeah.
There's another one. John Rice hits pretty hard.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. There's a lot of fucking.
All right, so back to the let's go back to the practice regimen or consistency, having it or not being detrimental or not. What's your take on that, Chason? How often do you practice, and what do you like to do if you do?
So, I actually just learned doubles. I've never done them before. We kind of wrote them off. I was like, I don't care. Like, everybody can smoke me now.
Yeah.
It's fine. I suck. Fuck it. But then, like, I'll give the hugest shout out right now to Czarcie Kopyto pedals because it's not the player, it's the gear when it comes to Czarcies.
Yo.
I swear to God, I could not do doubles, and I got my pair and I took them home and
Hang on.
sorry. So I slid my foot back on the pedal and they just started happening and I was like, holy shit.
Same thing with
So,
me.
Crazy, man. But yeah, that's what happened. So I've been practicing doubles like a lot. And the greatest practice routine I've ever come across was from Eric Rutan. He does a 200 to 300 click and it's ascending every 5-7 seconds or whatever. So it's like 10 minutes. You're just chilling at first, and then all of a sudden you're at like 300, and you're like, "Argh!" So like you don't realize that you're doing it. And I don't like to look at the DAW because by the time I'm like at the 280 mark, like I'm feeling pretty good, and it's 10 minutes, and so that's like my warm up, my practice that I try to do. And now with doubles, like I'm almost getting like 280 or higher, which I've never been able to do before. So I've been focusing on foot technique like a lot more. But earlier on, it was a lot of chopping over like, I think Dennis Chambers talks about fighting the song.
Yes.
So you play like, you know, some BG song or ABBA or something and just start chopping over the existing drum part. And I feel like it's like a brain disconnect where you can kind of not really care because for some of the brand songs, for example, there's drums in my in-ears, which is hard for me, but thankfully like now it feels so good. Actually, some of the time it's weird, like I got used to it. So those are like the two biggest ones for me that have always been part of my routine.
All right.
Kind of what I did with Fallujah as well, with having the drums in my ears while I was doing it, because I only had like I think 5 days between the two tours. So I was on tour and then I had 3 days to rehearse before we went to Australia. So I just kept the drums in my ears to kind of follow along if I got lost.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't play without drums actually in my ears.
Gabe, often what's up with you and practicing? I mean, you're so busy. I don't even know how you'd have time to practice, but
I haven't practiced in a long time. So like the only practicing I do is like, okay, I'm on tour and I have 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever before another tour. So like I'll be on tour playing with one band, and every time I'm driving or have downtime, I'm listening to the music of the next band I'm going to be playing for and making notes or whatever. And then on my downtime at home, I'm only working on those songs. So it's like I haven't had more or less a productive practice where it's like working on the things you need to work on versus working on songs you need to learn. So as of now, I can't remember the last time I just sat behind my drums, just practice to practice. because it's always like, what's the next job? What do I have coming up? And then,
What a man.
like this year, especially after 23, I did so many back-to-back tours. I was just burned out. So like now that I have some downtime, I don't even want to touch my drums for another week.
Dude. Okay.
Right. You know, hang out with your family and stuff.
Yeah, do literally anything else.
Yeah, your only real practice is pissing people off on flights next to you when you're tapping on the seats trying to And Bryce, what about you? You're busy too. So.
Well, it used to. The funny thing is, it used to be the exact same. Like I used to never practice at all because it was the same thing. Like I would be on a tour, and then I would get another tour on a tour, and then you have to learn that tour songs on this tour, and you don't fly home from that tour. You fly to the next tour. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like I was like not really home enough to even practice. Used to be, but now since I just do shadow, it's like more 50-50. Like I have a little more time to practice, but I find myself like so for example, our vocalist just had a son, which is fucking awesome. And we're like so stoked, but we want to make sure to give him time to, spin with his son and figure out what they're going to do. So, but I'm so ADHD. I have to stay. If I'm not busy, I'll die. I don't know. I'll die. So I'm like, I have like 7 sessions right now that I'm working on total, like 4 programming sessions, 3 live sessions. So I'm kind of like I don't really have time to practice at the moment. I'm like too stressed, too much to do. But if I do find time to practice, it's usually like kind of like Aron, like the only time I can make myself practice is if I have something huge coming up. So like when I had the Meinl shoot coming up, I hadn't practiced in like months. I didn't schedule sessions for like 3 weeks and only practiced those 4 shadow songs. It's like weird. Like if I need to turn it on, I can turn it on, but otherwise I don't. Or if we have a tour coming up, I'll practice for that, just the set for that, and then not really much else. But now I just got an electric kit now, which is so sick. I just got a rolling kit.
Nice.
Which is going to help so much. So now I don't have to drive like an hour round trip to practice or something. I could just walk outside and just. So now I actually do kind of fuck around a little bit. But yeah, to answer the question though, for real, if I didn't practice like seriously, there's no way I would be here. Like you don't have to practice. It's not realistic. I think you got to be a human. You got to, you got to enjoy life. You got to spend time with people. I don't think it's realistic to practice all the time, every day. But if you want to be a pro, yeah, you have to get super serious about it at some points in your life and like do it. But I think we're all at the point now where we don't have like, that's the thing. We're all kind of lucky. And now we're at the point where, not to say you don't have to practice because you should, but you know what I'm trying to say?
But we did this when we were,
we
already first fell in love with playing. We did this at 15 and we played 8, 9, 10 hours a day. Now we're at the point where
so you do have to do it
and learn it
at some point. Yeah. But it's so cool. This is so cool that you did this. Cause like, we're all so similar and like in such a same boat.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like, I always wanted to do this as a job. And then I started doing it as a job. And then it was like, if it's like all you do though, if you do want to do it, then you have to do it like all the time, but it's like the coolest fucking thing ever, dude. Like we're all drummers for a job, basically. You know how insane that is? That shouldn't be possible. You know how many people told us we couldn't do this? That's what I'm saying. You know how many people told us we couldn't do this? I had so many teachers and kids in my school be like, laugh in my face and be like, I said a career. That's a hobby. And I'm like, bitch, I'll make more money than you. And I did. And then last year I did. I made more than that fucking bitch last year. So like, if you want to do something, if you want to play death metal for a living, you can do it. Just practice at some point.
Just join 9 bands.
Yeah.
Join 9 bands. Yeah.
Yep.
And you'll probably play for the faceless. You'll probably play for the faceless at some point.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it'd be great. Like it works out. I think it, in my opinion, it's definitely a good thing because every drummer that's ever basically played for the Faceless is like sick and like people know who they are and they've gone on to do sick shit.
Yeah.
Like every single one. So like,
Yeah.
I'm grateful, man.
I mean, good pay. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was the most money I ever made in my life at the time. I was like, you're gonna pay me this a day? I used to make this like a month. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Sick.
I used to make $100 a month. Like, and that was with like 3 bands.
Oh, thought it was a paper route.
Hell damn.
So let me go back to a minute ago. Chason, you said something interesting to me. The pedals you were talking about, the Polish pedals. Say their name again.
Czarcie Kopyto.
Is that how it's actually pronounced?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what Vladdy told me when I asked the owner. I was like, how do you say it?
I can't do it.
Like, okay, cool.
I mean, I've heard Tomasz Pilasiewicz, of course, who's Polish, say it. He says Kopyto, but I can't even pronounce the way he says the first part of it. Anthony, you play them. How do you say it?
Czarcie Kopyto.
All right.
Yeah,
I call them crazy
Czarcie's-
cryptos because I can't say it the way it's supposed to be said.
Crazy crypto.
Crazy
my girlfriend is
cryptos.
Polish.
Easy.
My girlfriend is Polish, so I can ask her how she would say it.
There's a lot of different variances.
I
And
just
you
say
also-
CK because I'm like,
CK.
Well, you could take what I call them if you like and use it, man. It's crazy cryptos.
It
Devil's
means
hoof.
devil's hoof. Yeah.
Yeah, the devil's hoof.
crazy.
Also, Chason, you said something about your in-ears and having drums in there was difficult for you, which is kind of interesting to me. On a typical show, what do you want in your in-ears for everybody? Go ahead and start, Chason.
Just really loud album guitars for like the safety net, and then less live guitars, a little less bass, and then vocals somewhere pretty loud. Because for what I'm doing in Brand, Kyle is so insane. Like, holy fuck. So I like to go off of him a lot, and that's not common. But so I have him pretty high now in my mix, and just a lot of kick. And I recently added just snare. I would love to have a full drum set in there, but you know, all the mothership rigs, the spaceship rigs with the receiver and the mixer interface, like it's so much. So I'm just like, all right, I'll just take some snare and kick. But yeah, a lot of album guitars for my entire career. It seems like starting with the Faceless pretty hard. So this is just so crazy. Like, and people play stuff like a little differently, you know? So I like to have that there for me.
I had no choice.
What you Gabe? What do you like in your in-ears, Gabe?
For me, I have pretty much the same, less vocals. I'll do, at least with Obscura, a little bit of vocals, mostly just so I can hear like when Stefan's announcing the song coming up and when I need to hit play on the next song. But I like to have the pre-recorded guitars for sure. With Obscura, I'll do a little bit of the live guitars because I like to hear Christian Munsner improvising solos and stuff just because it's fun to nerd out on and listen to.
Wow.
Yeah, right?
He's insane.
That's so cool.
But yeah, mostly as long as I have click, guitar, and then kick and a little bit of snare. Sometimes I'll add like a little hi-hat and toms, but for the most part, just click, guitar, kick. If I have that, then I'm okay.
Right on. What about you, Bryce?
I'm still like one of the only people that I know that does this. I literally, and the reason I do this is because of the Faceless. But from now on, I will never do anything because of the Faceless.
Who?
You already know. Chason knows this. Chason knows as well, for sure. I can't risk it ever again. I play to the album and click, and that's what I play.
Yeah.
To. I play to the actual album with drums in the fucking thing.
Whoa.
Because if I fuck up, I don't. Okay, here's the other thing. Okay, I've been in Shadow for like 4 years now, which is great. That's awesome. But when we had the way that we are, there's only we can learn a lot of songs, but you have to dump. We have to dump files. We're like computers, like. We can't remember every song forever, right? So like, there's no way. I don't know, dude. I can't learn every single Shadow song. It's not gonna happen. Tell me what the set is before the tour. I'm gonna learn. That's the songs I'm gonna learn. You know what I mean? Well, the problem is if I don't know the song that well, or if I was doing a session before or something, I didn't get that much to learn. If I don't know the song very well and I fuck up and I don't have the drums and I don't know if it's a blast beat or a skank beat and there's nothing there, oh dude, might get fired or I don't know what's gonna happen. It's not gonna be good. So like I don't even want to risk it. If you mess up, I don't even want to know. You know what I mean?
And I understand that. Like with the going back to the Anti Begins record with Decrepit Birth, so much of that stuff is just jen.
Yes.
If you get
How
off by
would you
one
know
beat,
were you are?
You have no idea.
Vocals.
So like that's anytime I don't put Bill in my ears with Decrepit, but anytime like we've train wrecked songs in the past because like if you get off one beat, you have no idea where you are on that stuff because it all
Double
just
bass and cymbals. Till
Yeah,
you know where you're
pretty
at.
much.
Oh,
I've seen John Longstreth do that a bunch. He's like, "Where are we?" Just okay, here we are.
God, John is insane too. My fucking god.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
another fellow drummer in the chat here. What's up, Cameron? Thanks for joining
shit.
us.
Cameron's
Yo,
awesome.
Cameron.
what
Our
up?
Canadian brethren. What's going on, eh?
Aaron, what about you in there
Fucking A.
in ears?
Fucking A, buddy.
Yeah, usually I just like record a guitar track, click, kicks. I've been putting more ride in mine, especially like with Enterprise because like we're able to run all the mics back through our mix. It's weird. I have like the loudest ride ever, but it like for whatever reason my in-ears just cut out all the frequencies. So I'll be like mashing on the bell and it
Mashing?
just will be silent. And I'm like, dude, I'll be hitting it so hard and I won't hear it at all. And so then I put it in my ears and then like I can hear it again.
You got the
And I'm like,
fucking
oh, I
you
don't
got the
have to, like,
Benny
hit that
Paul,
hard.
don't you? You got the Benny Paul, don't
I'll
you?
get the
Power Bell?
no the HH Power Bell.
Yeah. That was the Benny Paul.
Yeah,
that was the Benny Paul ride for a while.
Yeah. I bought that like back in like 2011 because of Channel Lucas,
Oh yeah, such
and
a
I
sick
still
ride.
use it.
It's such a good ride.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
but it also depends though, because like if some of the stuff I've done where I don't have as much time to prepare, I'll do the full track, and the full album track with the click, just so I'm like, just same reason, just so I don't get lost.
I believe it.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear.
Worst case scenario, like if anyone fucks up, that's not me, and I don't even know. So it's great.
That's what I love about it. Yeah.
It gives them that foundation to just stick back with if they mess up for any reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angel,
Yeah, ride is
Like,
nice.
so what happened during this song? I don't know. It was perfect for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I was ripping. I don't know what happened
How
with
was
you.
your show?
Angel Kate,
was
thank you for
good.
joining us. Angel's in the chat from Demolition Hammer.
Angels too. What a powerhouse.
Another sick player. Okay, so vocals. Some of you liked the vocals, some of you did not, but you also, recording wise, because I'm weird. I'm not, I've recorded on a bunch of albums in my life, but nothing like you guys. And I need vocals in my ears when I track. And I've been told by everyone that I've interviewed on these live roundtables so far said that's not a thing for them. So I guess I'm the odd one out. Does anybody else like or need vocals when they track?
Yeah, I do.
Thank you.
Or I won't know where I'm at.
Oh, thank you. Somebody.
Be like, what
Two
the
reasons.
hell?
I won't know where I'm at, but the main thing is
What
what
the
the hell was
fuck?
that? What the hell?
Happy birthday.
How is that happening? What the hell is that? Why was that only on my
Fucking
screen?
party
What's going
time.
on?
Yeah,
I
That's
didn't
not-
touch anything.
that's
What
not me, man.
fuck, what was I saying?
Two
Vocals
reasons.
for tracking.
One is because I don't know where I am. But two is like sometimes the guitar riff is the same, right? It's like if a part repeats in the song, but the vocalist will do something different
Yeah.
on the second time. Well, I want to match. Like if the vocal's doing like a dot dot, like you can match what the vocalist is doing if you know what he's doing. But if you don't hear him, you're fucked. What are you gonna do?
Sure.
Yeah, but usually I have so much pre-production stuff anyways by the time I go to record that I don't necessarily need it, I think. So
That's
I've already
fair.
heard the songs
Right.
200 times before.
And
I
that's
even
even more
record it.
surprising to me. That's even more surprising to me with the mass of different songs you learn.
That's
That
true,
vocals
like
wouldn't be more important to you. because of the the catalog of stuff that you have learned to perform. Now, me, I've recorded
Well,
one for years.
performing is a different thing, but tracking on its own, I don't necessarily need to have it. When I'm playing live, I like to have some vocals.
Tracking, if I don't have it, it fucks me up because I'm always thinking about where the vocal line is, and I'll go a couple beats over on a bar or something, like thinking that's where the vocal was. So I'm just weird like that. Anyway,
I think this is interesting. That's pretty fucking cool.
See you
that is
later,
an
Anthony.
interesting.
Oh no.
Where did those balloons come from?
I don't know, but Anthony stole them and took off.
Yeah. Fuck. Something happened to my camera. 1 sec.
It's a black balloon. Well, on that note, let's just take a quick break here from one of our sponsors, our ongoing sponsors.
One of those companies.
We'll be back in 15 seconds.
Great company.
The most technically advanced drummers in the world require the most technologically advanced drumheads. Bit of a no-brainer when you think about it. In any case, we're more than happy to oblige.
Oh, wow. Are we all Evans guys here?
No,
Yeah.
but Evans is very supportive of sick drummers, so.
You're not?
Love Evans.
You're the only one that's
Love
not Ian?
Sorry?
Hybrid.
Ian?
I really want that sensory thing. Really
I like
bad.
the
Dig
the
towards
snare
all
on
the snare
snare.
Who's not an Evans guy? That's what I want to know.
All right. On that note, we could either go into our next topic. Why don't I just tell you what the next topic is so you can think about it for a few minutes, and then we'll play another video.
All right.
The next topic I had written down was be talking about a little bit how you actually prepare and learn a set for a fill-in tour. Any specific practices you have or routines
This is what I'm the most interested to hear.
Yeah, and you guys would like to talk about it amongst yourselves. But before we do that, Gabe, you had mentioned something about the Kennedyville prior to the podcast. Is there any news in that, camp?
Yeah, we're gonna start writing some new stuff. Casey, who I think is in the chat still, he started working on a few songs a few months ago. That's actually where I met Bryce. It was the Kennedyville and Seeker did a couple shows together on one of the Unique Leader tours. And yeah, we've got a couple songs we're gonna start working on. We're planning to put something out this year. We don't know if we're gonna go like a demo or EP or a full length album, but we're ready to get the ball rolling again because we haven't put out anything since 2017, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Jason, what do you got going on in the background there? Are you in a jam hall?
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
He
Sorry,
lives and breathes this.
I was muting the mics individually here to see where that was coming from.
Sorry.
No worries.
I was trying to figure out where that was coming from.
So we're going to go ahead. This song's 4.5. This is Gabe Seeber with Kennedyville. This video is a little bit older, but it's still killer. So everybody enjoy, and we'll be back in a few.
Unbelievable.
Dude, you got some of the cleanest doubles and fucking blast in the game.
Thank you.
Fuck.
And actually, Bryce, I wanted to ask you: are you still working with Francesco on the orchestral stuff?
Oh yeah.
Because he did that one too.
Really?
Yeah. So that was the first time we worked with
Great.
Francesco on the stuff, and he did all the orchestrations and stuff on that song.
Is he gonna do on the new stuff you're working on too?
I don't know yet. I'd love to have him do it again, but I'm also this year I toured playing drums for Karak Ongren, so I was thinking about maybe giving Clemens a couple songs to see what he comes up with too.
Sick. I'm stoked to hear that shit, dude. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm trying to decide because like I have so much love for death metal, and that's where I got my start and everything. But really, since playing for Abbott, I'm like just down this black metal rabbit hole, and that's like trying to decide what direction I'm gonna go with it.
Gabe, what was the name of that song, Gabe?
Conquering the Accursed.
There you go, Tess.
And that was just a single that we released in 2017 by the Kennedy Vale.
Nice. Cheers. It was Gabe, and we've also got cheers from Chile.
And
Thanks
we
for
had
watching.
Jason's bass player did bass on that song.
Dude, what the hell?
I have to like put my ear to the phone because these dudes want to play blues right now. I'm in a mute.
Oh no.
Jedi Grind is in the chat. What's up, Jedi? Thanks for joining us. Those of you who don't know Jedi or Mersey, he was the old bass player for Severed Savior.
Oh, what's up, Mersey?
Holy shit.
Thanks for joining us, Murdog.
It's just his ear.
Mer Sugar. All right, so next question is for Chason's ear. Learning a set to fill in on a tour.
I can't hear you right now.
Who wants to go first?
I think Bryce and I already kind of started talking about this, but yeah, just for me, listening to everything on repeat. That's all I listen to. Like I don't know a single album that came out in the last year because all I listen to is what I have to learn for the next tour. So it's listen to everything on repeat, make some notes, like, okay, Slayer beat 4 bars, blast beat 4 bars, double bass 4 bars, and just drill that into my head until it's memorized. And yeah, I really won't listen to anything else. And then once I get behind the kit, I can just kind of follow along with the notes. Like even in Australia with Fallujah, I was reading the notes that I took every day on stage, just playing those songs.
Nice.
That's so funny. So actually with Abigail, the only time I've ever done that in my life is I had to do that with Abigail Williams because same
Mike
thing.
Keller.
Like, well, Mike Keller for sure. He's just such a good drummer. But like Ken has really cool riffs, but he likes the thing with Ken. I always have to remember is whatever your natural feeling of how long a part's supposed to be, go more than that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And like I think it's really cool, but my body could not remember. Like I normally am just always memorized. Oh, I trust my memory. My memory would not get it. So I had a notebook, and for like the first 2 or 3 the first 2 or 3 Abigail tours, I think I had to read from this notebook as I played. And that's the only time I did it. But yeah, same thing. It just listen to the song, only listen to those songs. And that's basically it.
One thing I love about the Abigail stuff is like, I think that maybe this was a Mike idea, or maybe it was Ken, I'm not sure, but every riff will change tempo, even if it's just by 1 BPM. And it just can ramp up the songs and make it feel so cool, but still natural. So that's something I've been wanting to implement into like writing with the Kennedy Vale and stuff too. Just change things just a little bit every time.
And it's weird because you like I noticed that, and like I used to think you would think it wouldn't matter, like 1 BPM difference wouldn't matter, but like it's like really cool actually. It's
like the end of I think it's Sun and Moon, where I don't think we ever played it live at the ending, but the ending of the song on the record, every time the riff repeats, it goes up 1 BPM. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel like a change, but when you listen to it, it just keeps getting more and more intense every couple seconds, and you don't know why.
That's such a great record. It's such a fucking sick record.
Yeah.
Any different take for you, Chase, on preparing for a quick fill in?
That must be me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
See my ear again? Okay. Yeah, I did notes for Abigail too.
Yeah, bottom row and Abigail.
Oh
Abigail and
God.
Faceless, bottom row.
Go, dude.
You know, there's quite a drastic change in Planetary Duality 2. It's like 280, and for the tech part, it drops to like 263.
Yes.
And you're
Thank
like,
God
oh,
it does,
that's
though.
so nice.
Yes.
Because you can hear every riff, like, oh wow, I can hear all this tech shit,
Oh.
and you probably wouldn't even get it live if it didn't change. But yeah, I like the changes, like in the tempo. The fastest Brand song is the slowest breakdown. So like at the beginning, it's insane, and then by the end, I'm like, it's like, oh my God! It's called Ruin. It's so good. But yeah, listening is almost more important than playing the songs for me for learning. I drive around a lot in Vegas, so luckily I can just listen to songs like 100 times a day if I need. Then I'll go play them, and I'm still playing them wrong. So then I'll go back and listen again, and I'm like, oh, I missed like 18 parts. Let me listen again. Because when you're playing the song, you can't hear little cymbal nuances and stuff like that. So the listening is so huge. I used to make notes for every band, but not anymore. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think for me, making notes depends on how much time I have to work on the songs. If I have 3 months to learn songs, I don't need to make notes because I have plenty of time to listen to it.
That's a good point.
What about you, Aaron? Like, how did you approach the Fallujah fill-in as far as learning the material?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I just listen to everything over and over. I feel like one thing I do is I kind of like, I try to pick out the stuff that I think is really important. Like the fills that it's like if there's an isolated fill or like a certain beat that I'm like, all right, I have to play that just like the record. I like hyper focus on that and like make sure to learn that. And then kind of the other stuff, like it all depends on how much time I have. So if it's like I have, like for Fallujah, for example, like I picked out a lot of the fills. I was like, they're going to probably want me to play this just like the record. And then a lot of the other fills, I was like, he's kind of just doing a roll or something. I'm not going to like memorize that it's like snare, tom, snare, or
Yeah.
like, tom, snare, tom, or something, so like I kind of just like pick and choose like what is going to be the most important when I'm listening through it. And then like the more time I have, the more detail I go into basically.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Fallujah was like, I don't want to say surprisingly hard because I know Andrew's a beast and his writing is insane. But listening to Fallujah, I didn't think so much of it was not going to be 4/4.
Right.
So when I had my 5 days between tours to work on the stuff, I was like, oh shit, I'm in trouble. Like I thought I had a good grasp on it just listening to the songs every day, but then actually sitting behind the drum set, I was like, this needs a lot of work. Like
That's how
so
I felt.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we did 7 shows in Australia, and I don't think any of them were like perfect drum wise. There was at least something on every night that I messed up, and it was like, well, if I had a little more time or if I spent more time behind the drums doing it, it wouldn't have been such a problem. But it's just the nature.
It's hard.
Gabe, what was the record you were just talking about that you said it gets a BPM faster every rep to the end?
Walk Beyond the Dark.
All right, thank you. There you go, John.
The first track off that album, the last riff, gets 1 BPM faster every time it repeats.
Nice.
I think, or was it the first song off that, Bryce? Or was it Sun and Moon?
Sun and Moon, I think. I don't know.
So I think
it's one of the two.
Just listen to the whole record. The whole record, front to back,
It's
is
an amazing
fantastic.
record. You should just jam the whole record. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is
Mike
really,
Howard,
really
Pick one
good.
song.
Incredible drummer.
Yeah, Mike.
All right. Cameron Fleury's got a question for everybody, I guess, here. Do you memorize in chunks and then the full song, or just start with the full song? I think he's what he's asking.
I do.
I just fucking send her, bud.
What'd you say? Send it?
Just fucking send her.
Send her, bud. Fucking giving her.
Let's send it there, bud.
Fucking A, bud.
No, what do you fucking think about that there, bud? Or just fucking send it, huh?
Wait, we got a Canadian
Not
up
even
here.
better. I'm playing to a comedian. Perfect.
Actually, Anthony, you
love
probably,
Canada, so.
you probably live about within an hour from Cameron.
Yeah.
Last I knew, he was in London, Ontario.
I heard he was in Southern Ontario.
Damn.
Hey, you guys should hook up, man.
Poutine's my favorite food. Maybe I'll come visit soon.
Play some hockey. Eat some poutine.
Hell damn, brother.
Come on down. We'll go to fucking Tim Hortons. Grab a fucking double there, bud. We'll go for a rip.
I'm a triple guy, actually.
You go for a triple. All
I'm a
right.
triple guy, dude.
What's the venue in Toronto? Every time I'm there, at the end of the night when everyone's breaking down, the bar staff comes out with hockey sticks and they clean up the beer cans on the floor.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm not sure. I'm never there after close. I wouldn't know. But
It's the one with it's the real high stage, and you have to get on like this super steep ramp to get up to it. I can't remember the
Opera
name.
House.
No, not Opera House. I
Not
probably have
Opera
one. Probably have it on the land.
The Phoenix.
No, it's a small place.
Smaller place?
Lee's Palace. Lee's Palace.
Lee's
Oh
Palace.
my god, yes, dude.
I always thought it was Lee's Place. Am I reading that wrong?
Lee's
It's
Palace.
Palace.
The eyes will play tricks on you.
I went to the bathroom in that place barefoot, and I'm so glad I didn't get anything.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
You went all the
Oh,
way
yeah.
upstairs and go to the bathroom barefoot.
Oh yeah. It was disgusting. People
brave
thought
move.
I was gonna die. Well, I play barefoot, and I had to pee, so I was lazy. I didn't have time to put shoes on.
Yeah.
Lazy and gross.
You guys bring shower shoes on tour? Do you shower with some flip flops or something?
I don't, and I should.
You guys out here raw dogging showers?
I do, and it's insane. The fact that I have not had even an athlete's foot once yet, unbelievable.
Y'all got pregnant feet.
Tour gods are with me, dude. Pregnant feet?
Oh, these questions are writing themselves.
Holy shit.
All right.
Pregnant feet.
I've got a few more topics here. Anthony, do you have any questions about anything so far? Or besides Bryce's feet nastiness?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, I guess mostly all of you guys have played with like so many artists, which is like it's really inspiring. Like it's really cool. Because the topic of today is hired guns, right? So, I mean, you guys are all hired guns at like top tier level, which is pretty awesome. After playing with as many artists as you guys have, would you guys have like a memorable moment or something that like you maybe thought of when you were playing? You were like shit, like if I could just tell my like 15-year-old self that like this is happening. I know Bryce mentioned, he was listening to that like a tune and then he was playing it on stage. He's like, oh, I can't fuck it up now. Like something kind of like that, where it's like, you've like, it's like I made it kind of like thing, or it's like if I could just tell myself like I'm here at this specific spot. I don't know if you guys wanted to share that.
I think mine's a lot similar. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a time on stage or with any certain band that I've had that thought, like, okay, here I am. This is the dream that I've had, and now it's come true and come full circle and everything. Because I feel like every band that I've ever played for and been hired to play for is like a band that I grew up listening to when getting into the metal scene in general. So,
right.
So many of these bands that I've played for, it's like, this is a band I grew up listening to, and this is a band I grew up listening to. So like every, notch on the belt or rung on the ladder, or however you want to say it, is like every time it happens, it's still just surreal to me that I've played for some of these bands that I've been able to do.
Every hair on the floor.
It's very humble. It's a very humble answer, dude. It's a very humble answer, dude. That's cool.
Oh, shit.
All right, then we'll just move on to the next topic here. Unless anybody else has any other questions for each other, But,
Were you guys in jazz band? Did anybody do jazz band in school?
I tried, but like my school was so small, we had like 69 kids, Pretty cool. 69 kids in our class,
Nice.
high school class, and we tried to do band, and there was just not enough musicians, so it didn't happen. And I was so sad. I tried, but we just.
Yeah, we didn't have jazz band. But we had like a concert band, like kind of thing. Like a band
69
program.
kids, man. Well, how many people are that's a pretty small population of a town in general, huh?
It wasn't huge, yeah.
Wow, my graduating class in high school way back was like 386 kids.
Holy shit.
Mine was like 3,000.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Your whole school is like 30,000?
No, my graduating class was like 3,500 people.
Oh, 35. Okay, I was going to say 30,000.
Kids,
Jesus.
though.
3,500 in one school for one grade.
Yeah, I think mine was about 1,000.
Wow.
I think so.
Dude.
Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but no,
I
I
can see-
did jazz band with Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, and he played drums.
You're
And I was
kidding
like,
me.
oh my god, he was like the best drummer I had ever seen in my life. In like 6th grade, I was like, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll just sing in the band now. It's fine." And then, yeah, so that was fun.
That's
It was fun.
bullshit.
He plays everything. He can play everything.
Bryce sounds like Whitey from 8 Crazy Nights.
You know what my favorite scene is when he's asleep on the fucking bench and he's like, "My fingers in your mouth, kitty, but I don't." Oh, yeah, that's a classic Adam Sandler movie. Holy shit!
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years. I just watched it a few days ago.
So good. Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that many kids in one class. Must have been a long graduation ceremony.
Dude,
Yeah,
my
holy
graduation
shit.
was like 45 minutes. 40 minutes. It was like, okay.
Man.
It was awesome.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about thoughts about older recording techniques versus newer recording techniques and software. Be it, you used to go into a studio and, age-wise, this is a little different for me, being older than you guys, but let's just say going from a scenario where you're on ADAT or tape, going to sitting in your bedroom now with, whatever plugins you need in your home-based DAW, and being able to not just pre-prod, but do full productions from a bedroom. Is there anything you like more about the older days, or do you prefer like how it is now? Do you use all the home software for pre-prodding, or do you use it for full production? That kind of thing. Pros and cons for either side of it. And we haven't heard from you in a little bit there, Aron. What do you think about that?
I feel like it's, at least in my opinion, it feels very like dependent on the music. Like, kind of like the old school, like with a lot of the newer tech depth, I just feel like it's so hard to like get that to sound how people want it to sound, like on a record, using like older school techniques and, I don't know, just kind of like, like the old jam out style studio stuff. Like I actually don't have quite as much studio experience. I probably have more experience recording country music in a studio. Actually, I've done a lot of that, and that was all like jam style. Like,
Hell yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, but it was like, like you just go in with a full band and you jam out like 4 songs, and then like you go home and like, they do vocals. Like it's so different than like, some of the metal sessions I've done where you kind of, you break it down into slow, smaller chunks and everything, like, do more takes and stuff like that. So, but I don't know. It feels like, it just depends on like what the song calls for, what the like music calls for, essentially.
What about you, Bryce? I know you do tracking for people at home, which brings you to a different level of this question. So, I mean,
it's there is a magic to like tape and analog that you can't get with digital for sure. I will agree with that. But I like both. I like the ease of like today's stuff. Like, yeah, I don't think it doesn't sound as good as like a full sick analog rig. Like, it just doesn't. Like a plugin, it just doesn't. Like, but you can do so much now. Like, I do you know, like full albums from like just a room in my house. Like, you couldn't freaking do that unless you had like your own studio and had like hundreds of thousands of dollars back in the day. You know what I mean?
That's the thing too, the money, because back then it cost a lot more per hour to sit there and waste tape because you'd have to stop it and put a new tape on type of thing. But then that's when record labels were actually, you know, a different organization where bands were happy to be on one and making all kinds of money versus record labels now as well. So there's a lot that goes into it, you know.
That's the thing. It's like, it's just so different now. But I think like there's a place for both. Like, if I was doing like a classic rock record, I would want to do analog everything. Straight up. Always. But I agree with Aron. If I'm doing like a tech death record, they're not going to get what they want unless I trigger and we sample replace. It's just, you know what I mean? It's like, I like both, I think, for different reasons. You know, like I love going back and listening to albums, like metal albums that have no triggers and no samples. But at the same time, like, does it sound as good as fucking Drums on a Periphery album? Fuck no. Sorry. Nolly's mixes sound fucking incredible, but it's like because of today's stuff that we're able to do that. You know what I mean? So that was long-winded, but I like
the speed it went from where it started to where it is now, let's say 25, 30 years, is absolutely insane to think about.
It's unbelievable.
Where you can sit there and, you know, write your own record and produce your own record at a desk in your bedroom. It's mind-blowing.
AI can do it now.
Yeah, now just tell AI what you want.
That's cool. Yeah, and the MIDI stuff, like, it is so cool that, like, you know, I can't fucking play bass at all. And I can't play piano. But I can fucking write a sick-ass fucking song and make it sound like there's a bassist on it and a piano player. That's, like, super cool, you know? Like, and I get people being like, "That's so whack. You could just, you're not even playing. This is bullshit." The boomers are like, "What the hell?" with their bush light, they're like, "This is bullshit." It's like, dude, I get it, but like, you know what I mean? It's it's all good for different reasons, you know.
No, it's true. You could technically go into a place, set your kit up, hit everything once, and pack up.
That's true.
Yep.
Has anybody ever tracked without the kick drums and done them later? I've seen that done. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times.
Multiple times. Fallujah's done it multiple times.
Really?
Multiple Fallujah. Oh, actually, every Fallujah record, I think, there's no kicks on it.
I think the Immortal record,
they did a kick pad, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. Or the Alter Beast record called Immortal. I think that one. I think I did that one without kicks.
Because here's the thing:
I did a Community Vale record without kicks.
If you're a producer and you have to edit my drums, it's way cleaner and easier to edit hands if there's no kick bleed all day. The edits are going to be cleaner. Period.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. I don't give
Yeah.
a
So
fuck
I would
what
do I would do one take with kicks and then one take without, and then he could take the copy that I did with kicks, and after he edited all the hands on the other take, he could go in and program the kicks how I played them, and they just reduced all the bleed.
That's crazy.
That's sick.
What about cymbals? Have you ever seen anyone track without their cymbals and do those after?
I've had to do that for a session.
Oh, that's got to be hell.
That sounds terrible.
I've had to do hands and feet separately multiple times. Three different albums, yeah. And
Hands and feet separately, but Tom's without cymbals.
Oh yeah, and
Really?
and it's like, and I had no choice. They're like, "This is how we do it here," and I was like, "That's gonna fuck me up," but I can try. And it was a nightmare. I'll never do it again.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
And it's.
I mean, just balance alone, it would be throwing me off.
Oh, dude, it feels so incredibly wrong. It feels so wrong.
Well, it's because it is.
But that's the thing. It's like, just program the drums then, bro. At that point, like,
Right.
come on, like, Jesus.
You
Like,
know this is live, right? Everybody's hearing you say this, that you're a fraud.
Here's the thing, though. If the only time I have an issue with that is if you do something that you know you can't play.
Right.
I'm doing it to get the cleanliness.
The
But
good result.
if you come and see me live, you're gonna see it. If I couldn't, then I'm a bitch and I shouldn't be doing it. I agree 100%. But like, it's like working with technology, like we're talking about. Like, I want the cleanest drum sound possible. Do I care what Joe Schmo says? He can't play 220. Do I care what he thinks about me? No. You do it. Okay.
My favorite, the people on Robin Stone's videos, all the boomers yelling at him about his stuff.
I have so much fun messing with him. Every time I see a new post from him, I'm just like, "What's up, cheater?" Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, I hope you're filling in for Dave Haley on the Psychroptic stuff coming up.
I just saw that. That's incredible.
He's a monster drummer, man.
Anyone filling in for fucking Haley, dude? Oh my god.
Yeah, Haley's the man.
Oh,
Both Haleys are.
dude,
fucking
the Haleys
insane.
are legends.
Haley also was on our 2023 list for his work with his band, the Wolf. I forget the name off the top of my head. Something to do with wolves.
Yeah.
Too many names going through my head all the time right now, especially when I'm reading all these comments or whatever. But it's incredible. I actually, to be honest with you, I like it better than a lot of the Psychroptic stuff. Not that I don't like any of the Psychroptic stuff, but this shit's like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
Damn.
And while we're talking about all this recording stuff and clicks and effects and tracks, and what blows my mind also, and we were talking about having vocals in your ears or not in your ears or whatever, the fact that when we had Elliot Hoffman on here, a couple months back,
No click, right? They don't use
no click, never, live or in the studio with Car Bomb, which I don't know how that worked out.
I don't know how that's possible.
It worked out because they've all been together for a long time. As
also,
individuals.
Ken Bedini apparently from Aborted, same thing. Apparently, Ken Bedini also no click.
Yeah, same thing.
What the fuck? Are you kidding me? You're
Yeah.
gonna play 300 BPM with no click.
Well, he doesn't know he's playing 300, apparently.
I would be paying 220 and saying it's 300.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 300. Yeah, yeah.
Now that's one thing too, but I love Aborted, love them,
Rocks.
but Car Bomb's a different story. You know what I mean?
Car Bomb's chaos.
Car Bomb's like take Aborted
Mushroom.
and put it in a blender
like
with Spawn of Possession and like
sugar on
theory and
crack
practice.
and steroids and mushrooms, and it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in my life. Probably.
I've never seen it live. I'd love to see it.
Elliot and Car Bomb live is probably the most impressive thing
It is.
I've ever seen. One of them for sure.
He's one of my favorite guys ever. Just
Like
Maybe
the
I should add more
modulations,
laser beams.
dude.
what's
The
that? Game?
modulations he does is like, oh, how does he think of this? It's bullshit.
I'll tell you how he thinks of it because they've talked about it, and they'll go in the studio and they'll rip down like 10, 15, 20 different ideas for one part. And they'll do that through the whole song. Then they'll go back and pull the parts they like out of it, make a song out of those, and track to that, which is insane.
It's bullshit. What, they're aliens? I heard they're all like programmers or something too, and they like write music based off of code. Sometimes they use code to write, sometimes or something.
I'm not sure about that. They are all professionals, like in New York City, like doctor, lawyer, sound engineer kind of thing. You may be. It reminds me of an older story about Cephalic Carnage that we had mentioned earlier, and they used to write songs based on their girlfriend's phone numbers.
What?
That's why the early Cephalic stuff had those crazy time signatures, because it was all phone numbers from chicks they dated, or women they dated. I shouldn't say chicks.
Whoa.
I don't want to be accused of microaggressions here.
It's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so awesome. Yeah, that gives me ideas, dude. That's fucking smart.
And I can see like a lot of the Veil of Maya stuff too, where it's like if you have a pencil and a piece of paper and you just write 7, 1, 3, 4, 9, 6, like it
true.
seems like a lot of their songs could just as easily come about that way.
I did that a few times with some Lizard Professor songs, and thank God I never have to play those live ever again, because it's like impossible. Just give me a sheet. Can you put a projector behind the crowd that's telling me what to do? Because then I could do it.
Just a big
That would
teleprompter.
be a good idea. They should get drummer. They should get us, because the crowd won't know what's going on behind them. They're watching the show that they paid for. In front of them, give us a projector that projects drum notes
teleprompter, just
You
like
can, you can play with like an Oculus.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Fucking Oculus Rift. And,
You
Just
could
look
program
like
like
up there.
you could put a clean bathroom on there so Bryce thinks he's okay.
On that note, you know what I hope that they have in the future?
Flip flops.
Well, yeah, but but I hope one day they have this shit where like there's hologram drummers, right? Because then I don't have to go on tour anymore. I can just, go to the bathroom or like sit in my room in my house where I'm comfortable. And they're like, hey, the show's about to start. Can you like scan in or whatever, hologram in? And I'll be like, oh yeah. And I sit down on my electric kit in my house with no people around, no pressure. And they hologram me in and I'm at the show.
Oh, but you're actually playing.
But I'm playing, but I'm chilling. It's like I'm practicing at home. You know what I mean? My girlfriend could be massaging me and they don't know. But to them, I look like I'm really there, but I'm at home.
Dude, Google just picked up on that algorithm and we're all screwed now in 10 years.
Damn. All right, AI, do your thing.
This is an interesting comment from the chat here. And I don't know if anybody else besides me in this group knows of the band Goose, but they just lost their drummer. And he says, anyone here trying to replace Ben from Goose? Ben, I'm sorry, Gold Public. That's an interesting question and funny, but I would love to be the next drummer in Goose. That's like that would be a perfect gig for me, but that's not going to happen.
Sold.
Not going to happen. Let's see here. We have a quick 15-second little break here. I got an invite this morning from Tama to attend their NAMM 50th anniversary celebration this year. I was at their 25th. I don't know if I'm going to make it out to the 50th, but I'm going to try.
Blake Richardson will be there. Billy Reimer will be there.
Billy Reimer will be there. He was at the last one playing.
I can keep naming Tom artists if you want.
I got to sit next to Billy Cobham's family, front row, and watch him play, dude.
No fucking way.
Yeah, no way.
I would have had to go change my pants. Let's see it, Tama. What do you got?
Quick little blurb from Tama. And my homie Dirk.
Yeah, Dirk.
Yeah. Billy Reimer was there. He performed. I got to meet Stuart Copeland that night, who was standing in front of me, and I couldn't see because I'm real tall and he's taller than me. That was interesting. But Billy Cobham ripped it. And I'm sitting next to his mother and his brother. I'm like, I don't belong here. Like, what is going on here, man? That's funny. I should sing.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
never call Chason anything other than ears again.
I'm going to change my background to my Tama kit because it's so pretty.
Does anybody else have any other thoughts or questions or comments about new recording versus old recording or home tracking or anything like that before we move on?
I've never used Analog, so I don't have much to say about it, but I do remember the first time I saw the Tesseract Tempting Fate in studio thing where they're all playing together, and I would love to do something like that where it's the whole band performing together.
Yeah, that would be fun. I've actually done that with a band here in Buffalo, New York at Watchman Studios with Doug White, who's very well known for all of his work with Lethargy and Sulaco up here in upstate New York. It's fun, man. And I did it at Dejalon Studios as well in Rochester before they shut down. The whole band can see each other, not in the same room per se. There's sliding glass doors and whatnot, but you can all see one another. And that was an interesting time. Actually, Metallica recorded at Dejalon a long time ago as well, and so did Korn.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. Who is next up on the video list? I know we've shown the Kennedy Vale, and I know we've shown Bryce's video. Let's go with Aron here. We're going to take another quick break. Do you have anything you want to say about this video here, Aron, that you sent me a little while back before I play it?
I would say, because it's long, I would skip to I think the 4.5 minute mark. It's like a cooler, the second song is cooler.
That I cannot do right now. Sorry, I had to rip it and bring it into this software as it is, so I can start from the beginning and I'll cut it at like 5 or 4 or wherever. But other than that, I appreciate you sending it to me, and it's killer.
Nothing else to add. Drop the link in the chat, and we'll be able to watch it later.
It's 9 minutes long. Let's just play the whole thing, all right? I'll see you. No, let's just check out some of Aron Hetsko's handiwork, people. We'll be back in a few minutes.
What's up, Oklahoma City? We're the Sabian Triangle. This first song is called Discursive Lineage.
You're hitting them hard too there, sir.
You look like Blake Richardson so much. Oh my god.
He looked like an actor. It's been bugging me the whole time, and I can't think of who it is, but I think he was in that movie Fire in the Sky.
Oh my god, I love that movie. It's a great movie.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. It's like him, but when he plays drums and from the side, it looks like Blake.
I'm taking that as
beefed up.
Blake's a good-looking guy.
He is. He's a handsome bitch.
Blake eats steak.
I wish you could give me like
drum heads. Open a coffee shop.
If you could give me like 3% of his muscle, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
So I was going to bring up Twitch earlier, and I might as well just bring it up now. Anthony, that's how I met Anthony. Is he streams on Twitch a few times a week, and I know there's been other guys like during the pandemic that tried it out, like Bittner and whatnot. And there's a lot of guys on there now. Have any of you guys ever thought about streaming on Twitch or tried it or whatnot, or have any questions about it for Anthony? Because he pretty much knows everything there is to know about streaming on Twitch, and he does really well with it.
I haven't tried it yet. Scott Carstairs is always bugging me about it. He always wants me to get on there and start doing it. So I know I should. I'm just not good with technological things. That's why I started playing drums. I can hit things. I don't have to worry about everything else that goes along with it.
Right.
I understand.
But now, of course, that's probably why we all started playing drums, and now we have more cables and computers than anybody.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Like 16 microphones going into like trying to figure out how to get 16 microphones to not have latency through Twitch is pretty ridiculous. So it was a huge learning curve. But I mean, the drum fam, which kind of like we call our group on Twitch, is just like the group of drummers on Twitch. Basically, is everybody's extremely helpful and supportive. You know, like OBS and like certain streaming softwares, like you know, some people can't wrap their head around it, and the community is so helpful that everybody's willing to like, you know, meet up on Discord and like basically show somebody how to do it, like kind of like do it, help them out. So I mean, if that was the only thing that was stopping you, you know, I would just say just do it and like just ask some questions, and like there's gonna be somebody that's gonna like spoon feed you basically everything you need to know.
Well, here's an interesting comment that just popped up about it, because right now I'm in the process after Christmas is over with and whatnot. I'm setting I got a Alesis Strike Pro SE a few months back, and I'm going to start to stream, and I use a Mac. Now there's differences when you stream on Twitch with a Mac versus a PC for what's called OBS, right? And it's not very friendly with Macs. So I know a lot of guys will run audio on one computer and video on another computer, and I won't be able to do that. So this question that just popped up, and maybe Anthony, you could reply to this, and maybe it might help Gabe as well. What's the minimum you could have to start streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, I saw that question as well. I think it's a pretty good question. It depends on what you like. If you want to stream full drum set, you're going to need a little bit more like resources than you would if you were just doing an electronic kit. If you have an electronic kit, it's like way easier to sort of like get that all hooked up in with like your interface and whatever with one input, you know, versus like having a drum set. You sort of have to have like some know-how of, you know, microphones and like how to like get a decent sound recording yourself. Like that's like a whole thing on its own, right? So
because I do have everything needed. I have like the video that I think Ian, you said you guys put out Casey Brand's video today or yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
So those are all those mics, that interface, that computer that we use. Like that's mine and Casey during COVID when everything was shut down. We went in together. We got that computer. We bought all those mics. We got the lighting equipment. We bought cameras.
Oh, sick.
And so we have all the stuff to do it. I just haven't sat down and done it. I just haven't had a chance to really get down to it.
Yeah, well, whenever you do get a chance, you know, there's the community's waiting for you, man. So whenever you get a chance, but to answer that gentleman's question, yeah, the minimum would be whatever like your allowing budget would be. Like, I mean, if you want like to do your acoustic kit, but you only have like one microphone, I'm sure you could still pull it off. Like, there's people
who pull off drum streams that like aren't high production value, but like they're killer players. So like people don't necessarily care about the production per se, versus just wanting to see them play. You know what I mean? Kind of like when we go to kind of like back in the day when we'd watch like Sick Drummer Magazine videos or like any videos like, you know, where it's like cell phone quality or something. We don't care. We just want to see like the performance, right? So some people don't really care like per se about the production, but like, yeah, to answer your question, I guess I went a little on, but it just whatever your budget will allow will be like a perfect place to start, you know. So you need a drum set, you need a microphone or an interface, you need a computer and something to film yourself with, whether that's a phone or a webcam or something, and that's it, huh? Basically it.
Nice.
And a willingness to learn, I guess, because I mean it's a learning experience. So.
Yeah,
well, like you said, there's guys that have great shows with followers because they're incredible drummers and not a high production. Like that's how I learned about David Frank.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know who David Frank is, go look him up.
Yeah, amazing.
These guys that haven't maybe seen Twitch a lot. He's like an up and coming. He's been to NAMM a bunch, and he's like an RBJ kind of player. You know what I mean? Just nasty player.
So nasty, and he does what I do too, where we. Like on Twitch, like as drummers, like most of the time you just get like requests. So like I'll get like 90% of the songs I get requested I've never heard before. So I'm just like live learning, like improvising over like every song. And like I was telling Bryce, like sometimes I get like, you know, your guys' shit like requested, and I'm just like, whoa, you know, like fuck. And I just try to make my way through it, like never hearing some of the songs ever, and I'm just like, holy shit, I'm so super sorry to anybody that's like looking for a great performance, but I'm just like shitting all over all these parts, you know. But like it's still fun. Like people are there for like the laughs and the fun, and just like sometimes magic happens, like you guess right, and it's like it sounds awesome and it's sick, and other times you're like, fuck, I could have guessed a little bit better.
Well, you're pretty nuts, dude. Like you'll go from like the Muppet Show theme to, you know, Spawn of Possession in 5 minutes, and this dude live learns shit like I've never seen anybody live learn shit. It's pretty impressive.
That's insane.
Dude. You guys should check out his channel sometime.
I'm gonna hit you up soon because I just invested like way too much money in all of this stuff, like all new 16 mics, 16 channels, new laptop, new everything.
Yeah, excellent, man. Yeah,
new rolling kit, so I can do electric kit, I can do real drums. I'm in the same boat. Like I have the gear like him. I just same thing. Like I just haven't.
Man, well, I mean,
I'm ready to learn because it's like part of my New Year's resolution is like. My goal is to have like a minimum 7 income streams to get where I want to get. I have like 3 or 4 right now, and that would be another one.
Yeah, it's an excellent like extra source of income.
It's fun too, like you said. The community is great. It's a great community. It's just it's an
amazing community. Everybody's so supportive.
You can do other stuff too. Like once I figure it out, like I play PlayStation 5 all the time. Like I want to stream playing video games. I want to stream. I sing. Yeah. I have solo stuff. I want to stream working on solo stuff that's not metal. Like I have plans, but I'm gonna hit you up for sure because
please do, man. Like any of you guys,
I mean, this interview is streaming live on our Twitch channel right now too, as well. I'm just not modding it.
Yeah, if any of you guys have any questions, you could always hit me up, like Instagram or Discord or whatever.
If you don't mind, Anthony,
doesn't matter.
You said it was pretty lucrative. Can you expand on that at all? Like for the time you put into what you get out of it, roughly ballpark? I mean, I don't want to get personal, but
like I mean, it's so like sometimes it's like really, really good. Like, and I'm like, I'm jaw dropping, can't believe that I'm like making that much money off music, because I've never really made money off music before besides just teaching. Like I have like a $30,000 music degree that I spent on, but I haven't quite balanced out what I've spent on music yet, if you know what I mean.
Right.
The investment versus like where I've got so far, like, you know, I'm still working on that, but like it's pretty surprising, like the amount of support that you see from people. Like some people who are like a lot bigger, who have like way bigger audiences, will have like
a mandatory, like you have to tip or like give certain amount of money in order to get requests or whatever, right? And for them it works because they have 300-400 people
They have
in
to
their
manage.
chat, and you kind of have to manage like, oh, like I can't take 300 songs tonight, I can only take like 30 songs tonight.
Interesting.
But for somebody like my size, like I'm still trying to like grow, I'm still up and coming. I have maybe anywhere from 15 to 30 people. If I get rated, it's like 50 or so. I'm still not a partner yet, but I'm still working on it. So I don't have enough people to like mandatorily like ask people or demand people to like pay me to do requests. So I just it's if you feel like it, like, it's requests are totally optional, or requests, tips and donations are optional, and people typically tip and donate out of the kindness of their heart, and typically with that sort of like mindset, and like it's more welcoming to people, and I feel like instead of like demanding the money, people are more welcome to like give you the money because they're not like feeling like they have to. I don't know if that makes sense.
I like
Um,
that.
but just, I don't know, like it's up and down because it's extremely like it's not secure, where like YouTube and stuff, you get ad revenue and whatever. With Twitch, you have to rely on like subs and bits and stuff, and sometimes like you have people who spend a lot of money like on Twitch, like they'll like be really big supporters in a lot of streams,
Like Murdog.
and they'll like, yeah, or like just there's tons of people who, and they'll just like be throwing money at like a lot of creators, and like sometimes they come around and sometimes they don't, and like it's not a big deal when they don't, but like when they do, it's like kind of like, wow, like this is crazy.
So I looked up the list of top earners on
Yeah.
Twitch a week or two ago, and some of the people on there doing their video games and whatever else are making insane money. So
Yeah.
I guess that being said, for a person like you with your group and your followers, what's a crazy good night? I mean, is it $50? Is it $500? Is it somewhere in between?
Yeah, like it's like a few $100s, it's like $500 sometimes. I mean, like the most I've ever
That's
made would be
pretty
like
fucking sick.
$600
In a
a
day,
night.
in a few hours.
That's
Yeah.
insanely sick.
All right.
You-
Thank you for
you-
answering that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
US dollars. For any
Good.
Canadians out there, that's like
That's
It's not
more
in
money.
toonies.
like 1,000 Canadian dollars.
Yeah, that's worth more money. Yeah, you better believe it.
So, anyways, no, like, it's pretty crazy, and like, I get. It took a little while to like accept it. Like, I got a lot of imposter syndrome, like just like taking people's money and be like, this is insane. Like, you're giving me how much to play those songs?
Yeah.
And it's
You're like, I'm doing
sometimes
this for
crazy.
fun.
Like, but I don't
Yeah.
want to get like people's hopes up and think like, oh, like I'm gonna go on there and make a bunch of money, because like it's not always like that, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes like people are like, COVID sort of like died down, and people are finally going back out again and like doing things, and like there's still like a huge community of people who like, I guess, got into the habit of just staying home and hanging out, being on Twitch. And that market will always be there, but since COVID has like died down a bit, it's not as lucrative as it once was, but it's still there. And what I was talking about before we had this, before we started streaming, we were talking earlier, I mentioned that in my opinion, I think music, or musicians on Twitch in particular, is still like in its infancy. Like, Twitch has been around for a while, but like most of the big earners are all like video game people.
Right.
They play video games and they have giant video game audiences. But for musicians, like, it only really started becoming a bigger thing during COVID. Like, I started seeing some of my favorite like, musicians switching on or streaming on Twitch, and that's kind of like influenced me to start doing it, right? So the pandemic really sort of like set that stage, if you will, for musicians sort of flocking into Twitch. And I don't feel like the music industry, like as a whole, has sort of like grasped Twitch or like understands it. Like, I was talking about like, approaching companies for sponsorships or anything like that. They don't really understand like the analytics or the metrics of like Twitch yet, per se. So to them, it doesn't really make sense yet. But I feel like it's like an untapped market for a lot of musicians. That they're not really taking advantage of, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's just there. Like, okay, to put it in perspective, like out of the entire music category on Twitch in one night, there'll be like 68, 70,000 people. That's like a good night. There's 130,000 people playing Call of Duty Warzone. One game,
At any
there's
given time.
over double the viewers than there are people watching music on Twitch, right? So like, just put that into perspective. There's so many video games. So like, if there's 120,000, 30,000 watching Call of Duty, and there's another 100,000 watching, I don't know, FIFA, and then like, you get my point. Like, music is so small on there that I feel like it's still kind of untapped to like the masses. And we get like musicians, we get rated by like non-musicians like all the time, like gamers who come in, they're like, oh, I love drums, I love like this, or I like that band. And they just come in and like it's completely different to them. They're not used to like seeing drummers or like musicians like playing. They just watch people play video games. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. Like,
Well, let's give you a little bit of accolades here, Anthony.
I would never have met Ian if it wasn't for Twitch. A lot of the experiences that I've had, I owe a lot to Twitch and the community on there. So shout out to like all the people on there that have like helped me along my way with Twitch. And again, I pass it on to you guys. If you guys want to come join the Drum Fam, anytime you guys have any questions, hit me up and I'll help you out the best I can.
Awesome.
I'm leaving this comment up to make sure you see it, Anthony.
It's so sweet.
Stefan.
That's one of your followers.
I'm just saying this. Honestly, AZ Drums, best drum I ever seen on Twitch. That's not true. In my opinion, he's full of my mind.
Why are you so humble?
Stefan, you are too kind, dude, man. You were.
No, it's awesome. Thank you. I'm going to try and get my stuff going here in the next couple of weeks just to try it out. I mean,
me too.
I'll do live learns, but only in a certain bucket. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be trying all the crazy stuff you do. I'll like Alice in Chains is okay, or this is okay. This is okay. It doesn't matter what song, but I'll keep it chill to begin with.
And here's another perspective for that. If you were worried about like live learns and getting requests where like you're like, oh shit, like they're gonna request animals as leaders, and I'm gonna be fucked, and it's like that happens. That happens quite often. Like, not gonna lie. And if you have a problem with that, you can actually like curate your own playlists that people can request from. So you can make like your own playlist request, and then people have to go to this link to like look at your. When you go to karaoke bar and they have those books they give you, and you look through the books and you're like, pick the songs. It's kind of the same thing. You pick your requests out of a book. If they don't have the song, then you can't request it. So it's like you have your specific songs.
Pick all the songs in 4.
yeah, there you go.
A whole AC/DC playlist. All right, here we go.
There you go.
Every song. Here we go.
Like, even like some of my students, they're like, I want to Twitch, and I'm like, just do it. They're like, I'm not good enough. And I tell them the same thing. I'm like, man, like 30 songs. Like, you could play for like hours. Like, just make a playlist and tell people like, I'm sorry, I can only play like these songs. Can you request from these songs? And like, you'd be surprised like how many people want to hear you play Green Day or like whatever.
Could you just do like a fuck you to people and be like, I know 30 Meshuggah songs. Pick from only Meshuggah. Fuck you.
You could.
Yeah.
Cool.
Troy Wright would have to do it.
You totally could do that.
I've known 30 Meshuggah songs for like years, and I've just never done anything with them. And I'm like,
sorry.
Wait, no, you can play them?
I know like 33 Meshuggah songs right now that I can play right now. Bleed is one of them.
Go do a medley.
And fucking and like BT Bam, I know like 20, 30 BT Bam songs. Dream Theater, I know 20, 30 Dream Theater songs.
So here's
like right now I could play. It's like, what do I do?
You have $10,000 waiting for you on Twitch.
You do a themed night. You do like a Dream Theater night, it's like only Dream Theater requests, and they can request like, Dream Theater songs, like only BT Bam songs or like only whatever. So you can do themes. You could do themes. I see people who do like 90s, 80s songs, or like you could only request from this era, or like, it's pop punk night tonight. Like if it's not pop punk, then we're not playing it,
It's Travis Barker only, okay? Here we go.
Yeah, so I mean, it's your stream. You can make it like whatever you want. So
dude,
like
I have to say, Travis Barker's drum parts are so fun to play.
He's really good.
They really are
good at drums.
They really are.
All right, one more quick question on the Twitch, and then we're going to move on and see a video from Chason real quick.
Yes.
So you mentioned phones or webcams or whatever. Do you have any? What are you using, and do you have any experience with different types of webcams as far as low cost? I guess is what he's asking.
I'm currently only using. I have 4 cameras that I use, like 4 angles. I have a front angle, a side angle, an overtop angle, and then the kick angle. And I use one Logitech, the C920. It's kind of the shittiest angle, but that's the front angle. And the rest are all cell phones. Okay, so like if you have good internet, all you need is this app called OBS, or sorry, it's called Droid Cam OBS or OBS Droid Cam, and you could pay like $9 for it or whatever, and you could basically use you can hook up your phone to OBS via Wi-Fi. Like I don't even have my phones hooked up to the computer; they just go off Wi-Fi. If you have good enough Wi-Fi and upload speed, like it's fine. There's no latency at all. But it all depends on your internet. You have to have pretty decent internet. So I invested in like bitchin' internet, so like I don't have to worry about any problems. But when I first started, I did have some issues with like my latency, like camera issues and stuff. But yeah, that's all learning experience. But yeah, sorry if that answers your question. I kind of ranted a little bit, but yeah.
No, so that's cool. That's a good answer. I've got 4 phones sitting right next to me. They're doing absolutely nothing. So now I'm excited to try this.
Extra phones, you can use them for $9. You buy the app, and then you can use Droid Cam OBS, and you can even plug it in with a USB cable too, if you need to. Like if you don't have good internet, you can still use your USB. So
does that include? Do you use that for like switching angles too, or what do you use for? You have a camera switcher?
Yeah, so their OBS that's why I love OBS. Sick Drummer, I know you're Mac, but like if you could
I just read they have their own version of it now for Mac.
Yeah, I read the same thing.
So with OBS, they have lots of plugins. So like there's a thing called Advanced Scene Switcher. You can also Google that. It's OBS Advanced Scene Switcher. You download that, and it just pops up in your in the plugin profile. You open it up, and then you have all these instances of like parameters of like, okay, when this camera's on, it's going to be on for 15 seconds, and then it's going to switch to this camera after 15 seconds, and then
I have 3 GoPros right now. You're telling me I get this?
Yo, you can make
from overhead to foot cam.
Listen, guys, listen to this for a sec. You know Jay Postones from Tesseract?
Yes, I love that British man.
Yeah, so a lot of his videos that he's made, like his lesson videos and stuff, he just uses OBS to record everything, and then like the scene switcher switches everything instead of like recording like all those angles, taking all the files and putting them on the computer and having to edit them all. It's like the scene switcher does it all, so then when he records it all, it's just like there, and it just saves so much time. Like, anyways, that's just like a hack. We could talk about that stuff. But
hey Bryce, what else is cool too is you can allow your followers and users to switch camera angles for fun while they're watching.
You're fucking kidding me.
Yeah, you can spend like my little channel points. I call them shreddies.
So I know there's gonna be a guy that's into feet.
Yeah. I get
the whole time. That's fine.
I get feet people,
bro.
What's up with you and feet, man?
It's not me.
No, but you can charge them. You could be like, you can only watch the foot cam if you give me $1.
Yeah, you could do that. You could.
I can OnlyFans and what I mean?
Guys got it all set up.
Only flams.
Users can camera angles. They can change lights. They can change all kinds of shit, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, anytime you guys want to talk about it, just hit me up. We can talk about this forever. So,
Jason, you've been quiet over there a little bit. I heard Guns N' Roses a few minutes ago. Is that from your jam hall?
They're the worst. I was like, what the hell?
Someone's trying really hard.
His brain right now. He's trying to listen to us.
To not mess up this whole thing, but I'm hearing all kinds of.
What's your pulse right now, Jason?
Here, let me see. 340.
You're gonna
Mark Fire, calm down.
You're gonna be bad.
I know I got a head vein on either side right now, but no, it sounds a little quieter now. So
that's funny.
Sorry about that.
Do you want to say anything about this video you sent me earlier today, Chason? I know it's relatively new. We're going to go ahead and play this. This will be the last video. So, you got any pre-prop for it?
Sure. It's from Christmas Burns Red, Lancaster, PA, last show on my last tour with Brand. So was feeling way better playing wise than I do now. That's for sure. But yeah, mixed by my good boy Miles Austin, and filmed by my other really good friend Josh, who is Cursed Breath, I believe, on YouTube. So enjoy.
All right, this one here, I'll just stop. I'll try and find a good stopping point, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Woo.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania! We are Brand of Sacrifice! Open this shit up! There's another game! Born from the torments of my experience! Brutality!
Yeah,
Sick.
man.
So good,
Thank you.
dude.
You rocking those
Like,
Jordans,
oh
dude,
my
while you're
god.
playing?
Have you
What?
heard of the algorithm?
What's that?
What was?
You guys know the band, the algorithm?
Oh, I've heard of them. They're
Oh, yeah.
sick.
That first clip in that video kind of reminded me of some of that stuff. Just like the weird electronic sounds in the background.
Yeah, my boy Leo that writes all the stuff for Brand is really, really good at like all the choir stuff. He like individually masters and mixes like each voice, like so it's like really intensive on his part. So good.
I think this is something that I think is so funny, but like there was a point when all of us did singles. Like Gabe was like the swivel king. Chason was just like the fucking like hip flexor king.
Straight foot, yeah.
Yeah, and like and we all of us were like we refused to go to doubles.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck it, people. Well, Gabe was like just as fast as anyone basically with this swivel. It was like bullshit. He was like doing like 280 and it was bullshit. But then and
ruined my
Chason,
ankle,
dude,
though.
Chason, it made no sense how Chason would go so fast. And then I fucking joined Shadow, and then I have to play Anthony Barone's fucking parts. And I'm like, okay, well, something has to change. And then I see Gabe start doing doubles, and I'm like, well, I was part of the reason I wasn't doing doubles, because I was like, well, Gabe's not doing it, and Chason isn't.
I know.
And then I had to start doing doubles, and then I finally meet Chason, and I'm like, dude, can't wait to see you. Like, your singles are so sick. And he's like, oh, it's crazy. You just started doing doubles. I just noticed. I just started doing doubles. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. Yeah. And then he's been doing doubles like a couple months, and he's ripping doubles. I've been doing doubles a couple months. It's like, now we're all doing doubles because we fucking have to. It's so funny. All of us were like, we refuse. Dude, fuck it. They'll just be better. They'll just be faster than us. And then we're like, okay, well, okay. I guess we have to do this.
Yeah, it's like the swivel. Man. Trying to keep up with Decrepit Birth doing swivel.
Your knees are going to be fucked, man.
Well, no, it was my ankles. Like, finally, when I started getting to the point where, like, oh, I can keep up with Decrepit Birth, I'm doing 260, 290, and like, it sounds sick. And then my ankles started hurting, and because my feet have always been my weakest point. So it took me 15 years to get to the point where I could keep up with Decrepit Birth, and then my ankles are like, no, you're done. You're not doing this anymore. Yeah. Now doing doubles, I can keep up with the tempo, no problem, but now my knees hurt instead of my ankles. So I think it's just a matter of trading one for the other. Because, I mean, maybe I press too hard, I stomp too hard when I'm doing doubles or something, but it's just the nature of this type of music, I think. There's not a perfect technique to where nothing's ever going to hurt, you know? Our hand is only meant to do this so many times, and if you do that 2,000 times in a song, and you do that song or 9 songs in a set 30 times in a row, you know, eventually you're going to wear yourself out.
That's a good
point. Blast will do it too. Like, I had cubital tunnel symptoms with Hate Eternal. I was like, my elbow hurts.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that. That fucking band.
Bad.
What the
I couldn't. To be honest, it was like doing my best.
Even with Hannes playing for them, like, Hannes looked like he was in pain trying to play.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I saw Hannes play with him live, and he did very well. And
no, he did great with him too. I think. Actually, Chason, did you tour?
No, Chason didn't tour with him, but he recorded the record, and then happened afterwards.
I did like 2 tours with Hate Eternal.
Oh wow!
Right, it was very hard. King of All Kings, song 1, 260. I was like, long warm up for sure.
Yeah, we used to jam that. Me and the Seeker guitarist used to jam that vinyl in our house all the time.
So hard to play.
And I would just think to myself, like, how like, I knew you did singles, and I'm just like, how?
24
how can you have
of 30 seconds?
Yeah, but it sounds sick as fuck though.
Man.
And Ken was telling me on the first Abigail record when Trim did drums.
Mama Jan, that's funny.
There's a part it's on the first record that's like so sick. It's like this super fast double bass part. He's doing, it's supposed to be like notes of 6, like triplets. He's doing group notes of 5. Same thing.
Yeah.
it's technically slower than it's supposed to be, but it sounds so good. He's like, I didn't fucking edit it because like it sounded fucking sick. Who cares? And I'm like, dude,
Yeah, that's true.
that's
Same.
fucking sick. And that's the thing. Like, people need to understand. Like, when I was doing all singles, dude, I could not play above 240. It was not possible for me. So when I was playing for the Faceless Dog, when the song is at 250, I'm technically playing it like 239 or 241. But if it's clean, it sounds good.
It's like 15th notes instead of 16th.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. But if it's clean, that's all that matters. Fucking.
Well, look at Paul Mazurkiewicz with Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, perfect example.
He is not the cleanest death metal player.
Dude.
He's far from it with his feet and his hands. It's a lot of it's triplet.
The genius
but it sounds
is
perfect with Cannibal.
that triplet hand.
Yeah.
What? I can't do it, dude. I can't do it. I cannot cover Cannibal Corpse. I can't do it. What?
I think I feel like I'm just sloppy enough to be able to cover Cannibal Corpse.
I can't do it. I've tried so many times. It's a fucking polyrhythm is what it is.
Yeah.
But he's not doing it on purpose. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the unintentional polyrhythm.
He's not even trying to do it.
He just glitches out. And you've learned the technique now. He glitched out.
Oh shit.
Everything's bullshit.
We toured with them, and I asked him about it. I was like, I gotta fucking ask you about this. What the hell is going on with the fucking triplet thing? He's like, I don't know. It's just how I learned. I'm like, so you don't know what you're doing? He's like, not really. I'm like,
I don't know what I'm doing either. We're just here.
Respectfully, fuck you.
Everything's bullshit to you. It's funny. Hey, yeah, I just got a new car today, Bryce. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, fucking bullshit. Good for you. Yeah.
Good luck with it.
Go drive it off a cliff.
Yeah, I've lived in the Northeast for two freaking years, and this is what happens to me. Yeah, you fucking kidding me? Yeah. The Texan is like already. I'm fucking walking here.
I'm playing Sable Team. Get out of my face.
Just went to New York City a month ago.
Oh, it's so great. Isn't it incredible? It is bullshit. It's terrible, but it's awesome. You gotta go. It sucks, but you have to
hot
go.
dogs in your fucking coffee? Fuck it.
You gotta get stabbed by a guy in broad daylight, or you know, living. You know what I mean? Give me your fucking wallet.
New York City is nothing like that. He's just kidding, by the way.
Yeah, the day Bryce stabbed somebody.
Not me. New York, maybe, but not the boroughs.
I had a good time. Time.
There's fine spots. It's cool.
So we're coming up here on 3 hours. Let's just real quick go around. Let everybody know what you've got coming up next here, and we'll kind of say our goodbyes and wrap this up. Again, it's been awesome. So let's just start off with Aron and let us what's on the horizon for you this 2024.
Sure. I think like 2 weeks from today, I'm heading out to do another tour with Enterprise Earth. It's Suffocation headlining. It's like a co-direct sport with Sangusuga.
Nice.
And
yes, dude.
Yeah, out back in Europe. So yeah, really excited for that.
That's so
good. Yeah, it should be a really fun tour. And then I mean the rest of the year I don't have too much coming up. Like kind of some possible things the rest of the year. So, you know, talking to a few people about possible fill-in stuff, but nothing really like hard scheduled besides the European tour and some studio stuff, smaller stuff in my band, and some session work. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Nice. Well, good luck with that. Congratulations on all your success, and I wish you nothing but the best here, continued in 2024 and beyond, sir.
Yeah, that tour's gonna be sick.
And touring with Suffo is always fun, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be sick. Eric hits like a fucking man, dude. Holy shit.
Yep.
He does. It's bullshit.
So sick. It is bullshit.
Fucking bullshit.
It's bullshit.
What about you, Chason? What do you got besides jamming out to awesome renditions of Guns N' Roses and other mid '90s delicacies in your jam hall? What have you got coming up?
Well, Brand has a bunch of really exciting things coming. We're getting added on festivals like by the week, it seems like. So we have like Knotfest in Australia, late March. And then we have something we're working on in late May, which I can't say. But then we're doing all kinds of stuff in Europe, like Grass Pop and Hellfest and Download and like all of the festivals I've been dreaming about. And then also me and my really good brother, Robert Brown, he plays in Entheos. We're going to do, I hope we launch our solo project this year. It's called Droogs AG. It's like the gang from Clockwork Orange. So he plays guitar and I play keyboards. And so it's like a bunch of crazy glitch, like drum loops and like keyboard stuff, a little bit of live drums. And actually, I hope to launch our mocktails company as well. It's going to be called Matrix Mocktails. So stay tuned for that. I'm super stoked for all of it, man. Brand is like just doing so much crazy stuff. So it's going to be amazing for sure.
Hell yeah.
Never gets old. Holy shit.
That's cool. Cool. And congratulations to you, sir, on all your success. And it's great to see you, grow from where I met you till now and just crushing everywhere you go, man. So
thank you.
Awesome. Gabe, what's up for you next on the horizon? Or what is it?
For me, I've got a little bit of session work coming up. And in March, I'm heading back to Europe with Obscura, and we're doing a co-headliner with Cynic.
Yes, you are. You know what? You know who's going to be on that with you is Mike Gilbert from Severed Savior. He's playing guitar with Cynic, which is fucking insane.
Sick.
I'm stoked to meet him and hang out with him for sure.
They met on Twitch. Pretty wild. Go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
Yes. Besides that, just some session work. I got the Cynic Obscura tour, and then Veil of Noth record should be coming out, and then Abigail Williams should be releasing a single or two as well. And we're gonna have a tour later on in the year.
Right on.
So try to get that ball rolling again, because we recorded. I think it's been 3 years since I did the Veil drums. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I lived in Texas still, man.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I'm stoked for that to come out. Those songs are fucking sick.
What's weird is my guitar player's name is Robert Brown.
Really?
Awesome.
Yeah, and he was in a band in high school with Braun Daler of Mastodon, but Braun was the singer.
Holy shit.
It was called Covenant. It was a Christian rock band. They played the roller skating. Yeah. So Rob Brown was in that band, and he's now in my band. So that's pretty weird.
Sick.
Gabe, what's up? I'm sorry, Bryce. What do you got coming up?
I'm working on like 7 sessions at the moment that I'm finishing up.
Jesus.
And then
It's bullshit.
Bullshit.
I've got
Those
a
are rookie
couple
numbers.
like related to those sessions. I have to do some music video, like do some flights for some music videos for those sessions in like February, March. And then Shadow's writing new stuff, which I'm super fucking stoked about. It's going to be super sick. And then I'm going to see Chason in June, because we have a bunch of the same fests, like Grass Pop together.
Yes.
And a bunch of, we have like, I think 3 fests with Brand. It's like a whole Europe tour in the summer. And then maybe going back to do some more Meinl videos. And then Shadow will have some more tours at the end of the year. And then, just session stuff. Like, if I'm not busy, then I'm not happy. So,
I find that hard to believe, actually. I think you're happy like every second of every day. It's infectious.
I'm just grateful, man. Like I loved all of like every drummer in here, except for I just met you, Anthony. But now I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of every drummer in here, straight up.
Same.
This is like so fucking cool to me. Like I've watched all these dudes online for years. I've been a fan of this magazine since I was a fucking kid. It's like crazy. You know what I mean? It's hard to not, it's impossible to not be happy and smile because like I'm getting to live my dream like every day. You know what I mean? So like this is sick. So thanks for having us be a part of this shit, dude. Like this is.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for being part of it. Cool. I mean, Sick Drummer's been around for coming up on 17 years. It's bullshit.
Oh man.
And real quick, Anthony, you just tracked down in North Carolina. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that experience with Jamie King, and then when we can expect that material to be coming out so we can all look for it as well with prospects.
Yeah, sure. So I play with a band called Prospects based out of Toronto. I went down to North Carolina to track with Jamie King, the king of all kings.
The king.
It was a dream experience that I've always wanted to do, and I just said fuck it and just loaded my drums up in my little tiny Ford Fiesta and drove all the way down there and just did it.
Did you stay there? Did he lodge you?
No, I stayed at a buddy's house that I met on Twitch. Like, we just became really good friends, and he let me just basically stay at his house for a week. We got to hang out, met up with a couple other people, hung out, and then just booked the studio for one day and hired a videographer to just shoot some stuff. Like, I want to make a little mini kind of documentary and stuff to kind of release with some of the stuff, maybe just to give it a little bit more traction.
Nice.
But yeah, I went down there, recorded 6 songs in one day, spent the first like 3 hours doing the video shoot, and then the rest of it was like hustle to get the 6 songs tracked. It was an unreal experience, man, just to be sitting there in like the same spot as like fucking Blake, and like, you know, just
It's legendary, man.
just legendary, you know, just like looking around at all the bands that he's worked with and everything. That was just it was next level, and he's super nice guy, like a really nice dude. And we went for like, I don't know, we went almost till midnight. So shout out to him for going longer than I booked him for, and for going as long as we did, because he put in a lot of work that day. And we got the songs done, and I'm super stoked to get them out. Now, for the next sort of like part of it is I'm doing all the editing myself. The only time I've ever got drums edited, I didn't really like the final product. It just didn't really sound like me anymore.
Exactly.
So I edit my drums. So everything that I've released with Prospects in the past, like, I edit myself.
Well, that's
and then
fucking badass.
And then I send them to Jamie, and then Jamie like mixes and masters everything. And that's the reason why I wanted to go record with them, because this is the previous stuff that we've done in the past. Like, I record everything in here, I edit it, and then I send it to him, and he mixes and masters everything, and then we put it out. But I wanted to get like the Jamie drum sound, you know?
Yeah, dude.
Does that make sense? Like,
absolutely. And you got to be there in like the legendary space. And
man, when I sat down there and everything was mic'd up, and we did all like the sampled everything, you know, like hit everything. When he told me to just play a beat, like in my in-ears, like the mix that I had, like my kit has just like.
Did you play BT? Did you play something from BT Bam?
I did play a little bit. He did chuckle. He did chuckle slightly. Yeah.
I would have like played Mirrors or something, and he's like, "Okay."
I played Telos. Yeah.
Were you obfuscated?
I sure was. Yeah.
That's awesome. And when's that going to be done and coming out?
I would hope for it to be out like the first quarter of this year, but like, let's aim for like April or May for at least two tracks to be released. Will be at least by April and May. So hoping.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you all for taking time out of your schedules to be part of this. I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you.
It's nice to finally meet you face to face, Aron. It's nice to see all you guys again. And again, like I said, continued success. And when this is over, please shoot me a message in the group chat we had going, and just give me any links to anything you want added to the video description for YouTube and whatnot. I'll add it in there. And keep in touch. You can send me video anytime you like, and it will be posted. Hint, hint.
Yeah. It's been an honor, gentlemen. Huge
thank
fans
you.
of all of you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you guys are all shredders.
Thank you so much.
You guys
Cool.
are shredders.
Thanks for having us, Ian.
You got it, brother.
Thank you so much.
Aaron,
You got
Chason, Bryce, I'll see you guys soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely, man.
Well, Happy New Year to you guys and everybody watching and tuned in and commented. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to everybody. And
Happy New Year.
I will end this stream just like we do every other stream, and that's we are done.
Beautiful.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
See ya.